The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. And today's show is packed to the gills. Let's start now.
Let's ride.
That's right. Let's ride into another day of sports talk, especially because all NFL teams are in training camps. All teams have checked into a facility that says, you know what? You don't leave here unless you get cut or we go and win a Super Bowl.
Hell yeah.
We got about 5-6 more months straight ahead of us that we can't wait to talk about and chit-chat about and watch on as the biggest fans on earth or the biggest league on earth. There's already some storylines coming out of training camp, and we will have to talk about those. There's some contract conversations happening. Obviously, yesterday, after we went off air, one of the biggest free agents remaining on the market signed with, guess who?
Who?
Oh, it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's right.
Julio Jones signed with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's right.
Last week, Rudolph signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I forgot about that.
Tom Brady signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everybody seems to be signing with the Buccaneers, and they have somehow managed to stay under the salary cap while adding a $6 million deal with incentives up to $8 million for Julio Jones to become the fourth option.
I guess.
Fourth, maybe fourth option for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Now, injuries will happen. So whenever you're number 3, you're going to bounce out to number 2, probably even number 1 at some point because the way an NFL season is. But the teams that continue to win continue to load up in positions on the roster in which if you lose them, your team can get changed drastically. For instance, back in the day, it was run, throw. So who'd you need? You need fucking running backs, and you need a big body offensive lineman. Then on defense side, what do? You need big fucking D linemen, and then you need a lot of big linebackers. And they would pack those position groups so that if somebody got hurt, they wouldn't fall directly off a cliff talent-wise. Now with the modern NFL, if we've seen any of the teams that had success have a common trait, that is they are loaded in skill positions because at some point during the season, some guy that you would have never hoped to get injured will get injured. They'll miss valuable time in games that you fucking need to win to go get a Super Bowl. And these teams that have had success have been able to just go, oh, hey, don't worry about it. We got another fucking other team's number 1 wide receiver that we can just slide in as number 4. That seems to be the common trend. Not everybody seems to be doing it, but the teams that are winning are doing as such. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers get richer, even though they lost Rob Gronkowski, which everybody around him saying,
maybe not, though.
He is saying no, and I respect his decision because retiring is a big decision, let alone doing it twice. But everybody around him seems to think he'll come back week 10, week 11. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on a run, get Gronkowski back there. But that team somehow finding a way to continue to load its roster, give Tom every single option and maybe go out a winner here. One last Super Bowl. I think he's been in the Super Bowl every other year for like the last 14 years.
Yeah, he's won the Super Bowl every other year since 2014. He's been in the Super Bowl, I think, like 7 of those years.
So a lot of these trends, right? J-Lo got married, which I guess J-Lo, every time she's gotten a ring, Tom has won. I guess there's all of these trends that say Tom's going to be back in the Super Bowl. And the Buccaneers say, fuck, we're not going to be the reason that it doesn't happen. They're going all in. So maybe he rides off in that $375 million sunset of being a commentator and an ambassador for the game for Fox. The NFL season is in full swing.
Hell yeah.
The Talks tables here at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. One half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. Boys, it's just nice to have this football energy.
Yeah.
New stories coming out, new retirements coming out, injuries coming out, storylines coming out, starters, non-starters, who's getting fucked, who hates the team, who's going to get traded, what list are they on? It's nice to wake up with some shit to talk about at Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, absolutely. Until you realize that some of the things that we're going to be talking about is, like maybe your franchise left tackle whose knee isn't looking that great.
He put a caption out on Instagram. David Bakhtiari's putting a caption on Instagram. He'll be back soon.
Yeah, he did say that, but he also said he was good last year, as we were getting ready to go into the playoffs. And anytime you got a guy that big, and because we always talk about how ACL injuries aren't what they used to be, he's a big son of a bitch, and if it isn't healing right or he doesn't trust it fully like that, it's kind of worrisome. It is.
Does he have a hairline fracture in there as well, or stress fracture in there as well, bone bruise?
Possible. He had surgery again this offseason, which makes sense why he would start on the PUP list. But I think there's got to be something else going on there. Last year he continually needed to get it drained. So, like, the swelling
That's
wasn't
just like
going
a tweak
down.
of something.
Right.
There had to be some sort of bruise in there. I wonder what it was. If this was just an ACL, I would like everybody to know who the ACL surgeon was.
Yeah.
You know, I think his fellow peers in the NFLPA would like to know, and other sports would like to know, how come his has been, so long?
Right.
And he is such an important position for the Green Bay Packers, such an important player, not only for the morale and the group, like a hilarious, electrifying guy, but also his talent is huge. But that is what training camp's all about. Who will be back? Who will not be back? It appears, if all signs are pointing to good news up in New England, but the AFC East is going to be fucking a problem.
Oh, yeah.
I seen down in Miami, Dolphins coach this morning, Mike McDaniel, some local reporter was taking a picture saying, hey, McDaniel's doing a lot of speaking to Waddle, because everybody's talking about Tyreek Hill, and it needed to be said, Waddle's a game changer as well.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills are fucking hot, and Jets have a dog at quarterback.
That's right.
And I saw Robert Saleh walking in training camp. He looks yoked up, ready to go. Are you nervous at all in New England? And is the AFC East up for grabs, you think? Or is Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins
Well,
front runners way ahead?
definitely the Buffalo Bills. I think they're the clear favorite. I mean, not only in the division, but obviously in the league right now. But no, I'm not worried about it whatsoever. Mike McDaniel, unbelievable. I think, the Dolphins.
I love him, by the way.
Yeah,
He
he's
said,
great.
I blacked out just then in the press conference.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Which is amazing, and he's acting like a human, but this is just like MCDC.
Right.
When you win, if it doesn't, what's going to happen? I think he'll be able to handle it because he is an incredibly intelligent human being.
Yeah.
If you pick through the way he delivers his words and listen to the words, that motherfucker's got a big brain on him. He's got a lot of success, a good resume. Maybe the Dolphins get on a run this year. Maybe it's in the future. But I think the AFC East is very, very different than it has been for like 20 years. So congrats to all teams over there getting excited about it, even though the Buffalo Bills are the favorite. The AFC North. Here we go. Now we're cooking. In Pittsburgh, obviously, Steelers are the lifeline of the town. They are the heartbeat of an area, of a region. I am an NFL fan, always have been an NFL fan, strictly because where I grew up, literally the mood of everybody was dependent upon what happened on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you have interesting relationships with people. Chris Fuamatu-Mafala came in with some big-time first downs, kind of secured a game, and fucking all of a sudden the entire city's happy. Old Tim McAfee's happy. Sally McAfee's happy. It's like, okay, I like fucking Fuamatu-Mafala. This guy is bringing happiness to everybody. Cordell Stewart, Slash had some up days, some down days. People wanted to kill him. The entire town hated him. Then there were some great times there alongside him, let alone Bussy and Hines and the whole crew. Antoine Randall now coaching up in the NFC North. It's like Pittsburgh is one of those cities that live by the football team. There's polkas, there's rap songs, there's rock songs, there's everything. And the line to get into St. Vincent up there to watch training camp is already like 2 miles long of cars parked ready for it. That football feeling is something I think is in our blood because we grew up in it. But I don't think we're the only ones. It feels like Cincinnati is a little bit more energized than they've ever been. Baltimore is more energized than they've ever been. Cleveland has no idea who's going to be their fucking quarterback, but all signs are pointing to Dogtown being fucking pumped. The AFC North, it's hot in the kitchen all of a sudden, Diggs, and you guys don't have a fucking quarterback.
Oh, no.
All those cities are blue-collar cities, so you go to work, you do your job, and then, your happiness is based on how the football team is. We do not necessarily have a starting quarterback, even though I believe it will be Mitch. But, the unknown could be
Hey, by the way, Kenny was third. I don't know if you saw that. I saw a couple drills. I saw Mitchell Trubisky.
Sure.
Okay.
Mason Rudolph.
He's looked good so far.
Yes.
Well, I can't have a beer with the guy.
What's that?
No moxie, can't have a beer with that guy.
Well, that's what Tone has told you to
Cut
say.
him.
That's what Nick has also said.
I don't know.
And this is
Zeke's got an
looks
inside
good.
source.
Huh?
Well, I didn't tell Zeke to say that. Zeke's got sources in that building.
Really? And then Kenny Pickett, and then
Drafted from South Dakota State, I believe. That's on me. I should.
anyways, they were lined up 4 wide. Trubisky looked very comfortable and confident. They had the little condoms on their head. We'll talk about that in a little bit because Tomlin said it is my job to protect you. And it is what it is. He's on Instagram now, by the way. Everybody should follow him. If he puts any captions out that are anywhere near how he actually speaks, it'll be electrifying and must follow. I think he's only doing that to track his players, just like he said he did for Twitter as well. I'm only on here to make sure there's no fuckery with the boys. And I think he did that with Instagram.
I believe he followed 96 people. they were all players, and one of them was the Tomlin, so I assume he's checking in there too.
I just want to let you know I've made an account now to stalk you.
I see you.
I used to just kind of watch without you even knowing. I was just kind of a spectator, maybe a fake name. I want to let you know, when you open up your IG story and you scroll up and you see who's in there, you're fucking dad.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay, so remember that. Every single post. I wish you would have got on TikTok. I bet you a lot of Pittsburgh people wish that as well before Juju did his whole thing.
Yeah, we love that.
But I like Coach Tomlin. I love what he's doing. All eyes are on that quarterback situation.
Yeah, and you could be scared by the unknown, or you could be excited by the unknown.
Tomlin quote right there.
And I'm very excited to see, like, for a long time, 18 years or whatever, you knew who the quarterback was. You knew how he was going to play. It's very exciting. The defense is going to be a good, highest-paid defense in the NFL. They've led the league in the sacks the last 3 seasons. Obviously, the O-line's gotten better, thank God. We'll see with the OC and the quarterbacks.
The standard's the standard. You get a one at McDonald's in Pittsburgh and a one at McDonald's in the other side of the earth. It's always going to have the same quality. Mike Tomlin said that's what the Steelers are, and that's what the quarterback position is going to have to do, even though it's the first time in 18 years we don't know who the fuck's going to be quarterback.
And
That's right.
I said it to the boys the other day. You know what? Nothing against Seven. Love you, Seven. It will be.
He's going to be playing for the Browns anyway.
Yeah,
so
true.
That'll be crazy.
It will be nice to know, have a quarterback that could move slightly.
Ben Roethlisberger was known for moving the
yeah.
pocket,
Dance all over the field.
evading, extending the
For a
play.
long
Remember that
time.
drill from training camp where the backs are just hitting him and he's supposed to avoid a bam, 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 pump, 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 throw the ball. That's Ben Roethlisberger.
For a long time it was, and then last 2 or 3 years.
Oh, Pittsburgh Steelers want a quarterback that dances around contact, runs away from adversity.
Interesting.
Wow. Pittsburgh lost its ass.
That's what I said.
No, it will be. I'm excited to watch Mitchell Trubisky, what appears to be in a very healthy situation as opposed to what it was at the end of his Chicago Bear run. After the double doink, it really got ugly up there.
Oh, yeah.
And inside sources have told us things that we will not repeat loud into the microphone, but inside sources have told us Mitchell Trubisky and Nagy's relationship was not great.
Terrible.
I guess much worse than I had heard, but I also keep my blinders on, don't give a fuck about the Bears as much because the team hasn't really been good in a long
Nagy's
time.
a scumbag.
Well, that's what
Piece of
Zito,
shit.
that's what Zito says. That's not my inside source, by the way. But it did appear as if those two had grown very much apart.
Yeah.
I guess there was moments where they couldn't, maybe one party was wanting to speak to the other party, and it was just like, no can't.
thanks.
Middle of the season, starting quarterback, head
be
coach,
good.
that's
Bad.
that's not good.
No.
That's not good. So you could see how hindsight, looking back, how that could have been terrible for Chicago. He goes up to Buffalo.
Love that.
I don't know if it was a master's class or not. I think he was beloved by the locker room and the team. Who knows what he learned and what he didn't learn. I'm assuming Mitchell Trubisky is very excited to be in the position he is in his career, where he's not projected Super Bowl MVP or MVP of the league at all. Hey, you're here. We drafted a guy. You know what the deal is. You just have to play sound football, kind of be a good leader to this guy, and we'll probably pay you for the next 5-10 years if you and Kenny Pickett can have a great relationship. I don't know if that's what Mitchell Trubisky ultimately wants in his life, but if he's content with that, what a perfect thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's continue to bounce around the AFC a little bit. The AFC South, big deal. Indianapolis Colts were in the conversation for Julio Jones. How do we know that? Because although Julio Jones signed yesterday with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a $6 million deal, up to $8 in incentives, how the fuck are the Bucs able to pay everybody all the time?
Makes no sense.
Makes no sense at all, because they got a guy, Mike Greenberger, who's their salary guru, who is
Weapon.
He is a fucking weapon. He's playing a shell game with the rules and with the bonuses, and he's not breaking any of the rules. Everybody could do what the Buccaneers are doing. Everybody could do what the Rams are doing. Everybody could do what any of these teams that seem to have a wealthy owner with the cash over cap, with hiding salary and different signing bonuses, could do that. The Buccaneers continue to do that. Julio this morning chatted with local media, and Julio Jones talked about the entire scenario and how he ended up with the Buccaneers. It was a great conversation, and there's going to be some heartbreak from some teams' fan bases. This is not a prediction. It is also a spoiler. Colts fans aren't going to be happy to hear this. Go ahead and run this thing, Emmett McMahon.
Just talk to us. Tell us how you made the decision to come here.
Right. I got to keep a little bit confidential.
I understand. We understand.
Okay,
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I'm at a point in my career right now. It was never a money play, things like that. And I don't know if they, wanted to pay me for my value and different things like that. Other teams wanted to pay me more money and different things like that. But it's like, I'm not here for that. It's more so about, the opportunity playoffs, postseason, winning a championship, things like that, right? So Aaron Rodgers did come up in the conversation. Tom Brady came up in the conversation, right? So I had, the Colts, the Saints, so on and so on. I had, numerous of people trying to communicate with me, things like that. But I told Jimmy Sexton, my agent, like, hey, listen, I want to have the best opportunity to, potentially get a ring somewhere. Obviously, I know, you got to work every day, each and every day. You just don't show up, boom, it's a ring, right? Of course. So for me, it was just like, Tom hit me. I was like, okay, cool. Okay, we got something here. So, we're just going back and forth, just communicating. You just, just checking in, things like that, just building that relationship with me. And then it's like, what you thinking? What you thinking? I'm like, I got space down there, but it's just, like I said, I'm not here to step on anyone's toes, things like that. I'm just here to come and just fit in wherever I can fit in at, do whatever the team needs me to do.
Okay, so there's clearly what we have to put some dead space at the end of these videos so it doesn't go immediately to the next one. I think we'll put a note down on that on Siri maybe. We should remind ourselves for afterwards. But how about Julio Jones? Basically opening up about the entire thing. Other teams offered him more money. Who was that? Maybe it was the Colts. Maybe it was the Packers. Maybe it was the Saints. Maybe it was a number of teams that offered him more money. And also maybe he's just making that up. Maybe no team offered him more money and they're using that as a leverage with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you have to continue that negotiation play into your interviews after you sign the deal because you don't want the team that you just signed with to immediately think, oh, this guy tried to pull one fucking over. Jimmy Sexton, I think he reps every single college football coach. I believe he is kind of the one behind the whole college football coaching trees and who does what. Powerful agent. So him and Julio Jones having a great relationship is good news for Julio. Him ending up at the Buccaneers and saying, like, you guys got enough room for me down there? Yeah. Hilariously self-aware question. And he said, I'm not here to step on anybody's toes. I'm just doing my thing. And it sounds like he's a worker when last year we heard he didn't want to go to practice. But everything I heard from that interview he did on WDAE, I believe, down in Tampa Bay, we appreciate them, local media. He's basically talked about what he expects from himself, a leadership role, working hard, accountable for himself. There's no lingering issues, I guess, with any health things. Right. Oh, so we're going to get another Julio Jones rebirth that we thought we were going to get last year in Tennessee. But instead this time it's with Tom fucking Brady.
And we've said it multiple times while Brady's been in Tampa Bay, like, hey, this might be the best offense Brady's ever had. This might be the best offense Brady's ever had. This also might be the best offense Brady has ever had.
Is Scoot still on that team?
I believe so.
He's still there.
I am worried about that depth chart for Scoot.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was actually thinking this is good for Scoot. You think Evans, Godwin, Julio, Brate, and then you just sneak a little 4-3 in there.
So
I mean, it feels like there's going to be a lot of room, right?
Gage is who they paid like 3 years, $35 million or something as the.
Oh, he is Scoot.
Yeah, he's the slot guy there.
And then there's Tyler Johnson, Cyril Grayson, who kind of got playing time a little bit over him last year.
Oh yeah, I remember Grayson.
And then
the sprinter.
And then it's Scoot down there.
Cyril, Cyril, right?
Yes.
I remember LSU sprinter in New Orleans, go route. Yeah, I remember that.
Score. Also scored against the Jets.
I worry about Scoot.
Well, hopefully fucking Scoot can get cut from Tampa and come race Indianapolis.
No kidding.
Fucking Scoot. Tell him you don't want to play there. Scoot. Take a
Get your way
stand today,
out.
Scotty Miller. Take a stand. They disrespected you when they
This
signed
bullshit,
Julio
Scoot.
Jones. They disrespected you, Scotty Miller. Fucking tell them you want out.
Colts going to re-sign T.Y. or what the hell is going on?
Does it make you guys feel better that it seems like you guys were talking to Julio at least?
It is awesome. Now, we will have Andrew Brant on the show today in the third hour, former front office executive for the Green Bay Packers, an agent and everything, basically. He's been in the NFL in all angles and was the one that broke down the cash over cap to us that allowed us to continue to grandstand on the fact that the salary cap's not fucking real, just like we had thought.
Right.
He put a lot more smart words into our mouth to describe why we feel the way we feel, but he did break that all down. He put out a tweet earlier, said there'd be numerous times where agents would reach out to us and say, hey, can we say that we're negotiating with you to use you as leverage? And he said, sure, if you want somebody else to overpay, fucking go do what you got to do. So who knows what's real, what isn't real. True. Andrew Brant joins us in the third hour. Kamaru Usman joins us in the third hour as well. He's fighting in August. He's gonna, he's going to give us a great conversation.
Yeah.
Last time we chatted with him, the power went out. It was fucking awesome, though. He was a great convo. D-Butt will join us in a second hour. Can't wait to talk with him about all things happening around the NFL and how he's doing. And joining us right now, a man who hopefully has inside information on shit that we don't know. Normally, it's us giving him info, but that's only in the offseason when he just golfs all the time. I believe now he's in the middle of his training camp tour, live from the Philadelphia Eagles training camp. Senior NFL insider for the NFL and the NFL Network, host of the weekly wrap-up of Rap Sheet and Friends, us being friends, he being Rap Sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rapoport.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how are you, bub?
I'm great. So let me just set the scene here. I'm in a tent at the Eagles facility. There's grass cutting going on behind me, if you can see that.
Oh, I smell the grass.
Yeah.
Just talking to Howie Roseman, the GM. Getting some good FaceTime, and now I'm happy to talk to you guys.
Well, we appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Ryan.
Hey, Sirianni's looking for dogs, right? Do they just put out a bunch of kibbles and bits out there and see who's got it? Have you heard any speeches from Sirianni? He's still got his A game that we expect?
Sirianni, I talked to him earlier. He's wearing a Jalen Hurts T-shirt today.
Nice.
Not that he needs to show support.
That's equipment manager fucking getting after.
Wow. That was a little impressive.
There's another one.
I mean, what are these guys doing? Are they showing off over here?
No, they're moving bags, Ian. They got to work, unlike you, pal. You're just networking. Those dudes are the backbone of that fucking operation. That was Mitt for like 10 years of his summer and his life over there.
That actually explains a lot. So Sirianni was wearing a Jalen Hurts shirt. And I don't know if it has to do with the weird report about him struggling at OTAs. Whoa. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But there it is. But Hurts is having a really good offseason, had a really good OTAs and minicamp. Sirianni was very vocal about that. And so no dog mask or dog food, but definitely all in on Jalen Hurts.
Kind of a teal shirt there, like former coach of the Eagles who led them to a Super Bowl, Jacksonville Jaguars teal. I don't know if the exposure on that camera is a little different, but what's that all about?
Shades of Dougie.
What is Sirianni doing? I'm excited to see what the Eagles become. Kelce's back for another year. We saw him drink a beer and announce that. I love what they have done. They've gone all in. It seems like this is a make or break year for Hurts. It's starting with him on shirts. Will it end with him on unemployment list? That's good hosting.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Hurts is so fascinating to me because I was here last year right around this time, and it was all like, is he going to be a franchise starter? Is he going to even be a starter at all? And now he's a starter of a playoff team, and they spent, some part of the offseason kind of looking into dabbling with some of the potential tradable guys like Russell Wilson, like Deshaun Watson, and in the end, we're just going to stick with our guy, and that is a really fascinating decision.
I think I'm just now hearing that they were actually interested in Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson and any other quarterbacks that are available. Is that known over there that they were actually interested in that? And at what point did they decide, all right, we're going to stick with Jalen? Was it because they couldn't afford Russ and Deshaun, or were they scoring things against what we would have to give up versus having Jalen another year? And do you view this as a make or break year for Jalen because of that situation?
Yeah, I think it is some of the value. If you're going to trade all your picks and pay a quarterback, it better be worth it. You have to know for sure. And I think for Russ, he wanted to be close to the West Coast, wanted to be out there, obviously, in Denver. So would he have come to Philly? He didn't come to Washington. I know Washington was involved as well. So I think it was more it sort of didn't fit. Make or break year. I would say in Philly, it's always kind of a make or break year. And remember, they have multiple first-round draft picks next year. So if he's not the guy, they are okay. But they hope he is, because then they could just do what they did this offseason and build around him.
Sirianni's going to be playing rock, paper, scissors with so many quarterbacks in next year's class.
Or none.
Or not if Jalen Hurts does his thing.
Jalen's a dog, I think he is.
If he's a dog, you think he's the guy going forward, and are you going to bundle those picks and move back or move up to get some other weapon that you need, or are those multiple draft picks potentially what you're going to use to replace Jalen Hurts if he's not a dog?
Probably, hopefully Kelce comes back and plays for 6-7 more years, but if he's done after this year, maybe we couple those picks up and take a center in number 1 overall.
Okay. All right. See, that's potentially. We don't know what's going to happen. That's why the NFL is awesome. What, you're surprised, Ian? You haven't heard that over there at all?
No, I've heard. I mean, I've heard rumors. Just I was working on it. I haven't heard it definitively.
I saw Kelce was actually live with Lefko when they drafted a center. And Kelce actually said, like, yeah, I did study on this guy. I think he's supposed to pass the torch. I think this is like a pass the torch scene with old Kelce and the Eagles. Let's move on to other conversations, Ian, shall we? You reported Travis Kelce's getting more money this year than later because it's what he is owed or something like that. I'm sure that's why. Why are they doing this? Did they need to make space? They had extra space? They figured they could steal from tomorrow to pay today? Or is this actually because Travis Kelce's fucking awesome?
Yeah. So Travis Kelce is awesome. I would say that is confirmed. And I kind of thought when I first heard about this deal maybe happening yesterday, I was like, oh, okay, they're just creating cap space. They're actually diminishing their cap space. It actually hurts their cap. They are rewarding a guy who is awesome. So they're taking $3 million from sort of like the future, putting it into this year, diminishing what's left in the future. But, if he goes out and plays well this year, which I'm sure he's going to, he is an awesome football player, then they might end up redoing the deal and giving him a new one. When he signed this deal, it was sort of like a little undervalued. He wanted it. It was important to him, but it was a little undervalued. This is more right. So they really just gave him a $3 million raise, and that's it.
Well, congrats to Travis and Chiefs doing that. Doesn't feel like that's what happened at all, but I am happy that it appears to be that way.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Very happy.
The NFL just giving more money out of nowhere. That doesn't, you and I know, we've been here. That's like you. You're great on TV. You do fantastic. Same boss as all these other guys. Are they just going to come up to you and say, you know what? That money that we potentially owed you next year that we're kind of running out of room with, how about we just give that to you this year?
What do you say?
Is that because you've earned it? Is that what happened here, you think, or no? You genuinely think this was because they wanted to keep Travis Kelce happy?
I think they wanted to keep Travis Kelce happy. And, in all seriousness, when the deal happened last year, it was very – I'm not sure – or 2 years ago, I'm not sure of the timing, but it was right around when Kittle did his massive deal, and it looked bad, pretty quickly. So I think everyone knew, all right, this was not quite right. This guy deserves more money.
All right, shout out to Veach and to Reed for taking care of Travis Kelce, who will go down as – top 3 tight end of all time in basically every single conversation whenever it's all said and done, especially if he starts picking up Super Bowl championships. It's him, Kittle, and Gronk, and that's just so selfish of me to say because I'm good friends with Dallas Clark, who's a fucking animal. Gonzalez was unbelievable. Antonio Gates was unbelievable. Yeah. I think it's going to be difficult to judge. You're going to have to go eras. I think you're going to have to do eras of tight end.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, because, and I don't love that anyway because, the offensive stats are so skewed the last, not skewed, but they're everything's exploded the last 3 or 4 years. But yes, I mean, all those guys are awesome. If I had to pick one to be on my team, I don't know, I'd pick all of them.
Yeah, tight ends, by the way, they know it. That's why they're doing that tight end university. Right. Tight end university. It seems like they're all on the same page. Hey, we're worth a fucking lot more than what they are paying us right now with how the NFL is going. I'm excited for that. We're talking to Ian Rapoport live currently at the Philadelphia Eagles training camp. I know the boys have a couple questions, and we appreciate you joining us. We know you're very busy. I would like, and this is the reason why I brought you on. So there's all these lists that are popping up right now. Guys end up on PUP. They end up on the NFI list. They injured reserve, designated return. They could end up on an exemption list. I mean, there's all these lists that we're hearing about now, and I think there's no better human than to explain what each one is than you. And there's also reasoning on why some guys, like for instance, Roquan Smith, not injured in Chicago, put on the PUP. I think that's so that they can't fine him for missing practice because he's not going to be in the building because he's doing a holdout. There's always alternative reasons for all of these different lists as well. And Ian, if you could break it down for all of us, we'd be very thankful because these lists are about to make a lot of headlines over the next 2-3 weeks. Right. Ian, start at the top if you'd like, and then I will pop in with any questions, as will the Stooges to my right here.
All right. So the NFI list, it could be two things. It's non-football illness or non-football injury. And if you are put on, let's say, NFI to start training camp, then basically all it means is you got an injury not playing football for your team. So let's say you tore your ACL in college and you're not 100% healthy now. you're on the non-football injury list, and you can come off it at any time.
Hayden
right?
ride a bike, right?
Right.
Minka rode a bike, hurt his hand.
Correct.
So
that's a good example.
Still get paid, not get paid, still a part of the team in the salary cap.
If you are in it in training camp and you're still part of the active roster, you do get paid. If for this list, the non-football injury list, if you start the season on it, like let's say the first 4 games now, or first 6 games, whatever it is, then the team has the option of paying you or not. Like if you're, snowboarding and you break your wrist, the team, you know what, you're going to miss the first month. We're not going to pay you because you're an idiot. And that happens, especially if you're not allowed in your contract.
Yeah.
So the team has the option. Go ahead.
Just the snowboard injury thing.
Yeah, you know.
You know. Go ahead, please.
All right, so that's the.
By the way, the team paid him more than anybody. Who? In the history of the NFL.
Who? What team?
All right, go ahead, Ian. Sorry. You just happened to say snowboarding, huh? Just happened to, that one just popped in your mind? Go ahead, Ian, please.
What? I mean, did I miss an Andrew Luck joke in there?
Come on!
Talking about Andrew Luck and the Colts?
Jeez. Stop, please. Hearsay.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Pat, did you listen to the Zach Heefer's Andrew Luck podcast?
Obviously.
I know Zach Kiefer. I have massive respect for Zach Kiefer. Love Zach Kiefer. I have not found time to listen to that just yet, but I am pumped for it.
You should. That's very nice. It's actually you might find some of it old, but I feel like it's extremely interesting. So you should listen to it. They did a really nice job.
What is it? It's a full series, right? Like a couple hours.
Yeah, it's 6 hours. It's like watching a documentary, and it like
Jesus.
painstakingly goes through all the Luck stuff. And it would be like painful for you because like it is heartbreaking, but very, very interesting.
Okay, well, congrats to Zach Kiefer on a great piece. And also, thank you to Andrew Luck for all your sacrifices.
Thank you, Andrew.
The snowboard thing, I learned about it through an Uber driver.
Yeah.
And I'm like, excuse me?
It was tough.
I'm in the building. So then I start beating down doors.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what the fuck did I just hear from this Uber driver? What's that? Is there some snowboard thing that happened? Oh, no, I don't know about that. You should ask. Oh, whoa. A lot of that, But Andrew Luck was still able to come out and fucking play better than anybody. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that came out. There's a guy that should have played for 20 years if he wanted. He has a lot of other options. Big brain, one of the nicest dudes of all time. And maybe the prototype. I mean, Josh Allen's kind of the prototype now.
Yeah.
He was fucking 6'4", very thick, very yoked. Smarter than every human he talked to on a daily basis and could throw the ball country mile and was super competitive. That will always be a mystery. So shout out to Zach Kiefer for doing that, keeping the Andrew Luck, name alive because he does deserve it. But goddamn, a snowboarding reference out of nowhere was not needed by you, Ian. Let's move on. We're all happy. So the NFI, non-football injury, non-football illness, that's off the field. The team can choose to pay you or not choose to pay you. They put you on there. How long are you on there for? Can't hear me.
This guy.
I mean,
this like grass cutting guy just keeps driving by. All right.
Go ahead, move on.
Grass needs to be cut. I'm not saying that. All right. So then PUP is basically the same thing, but it's injuries that happen while playing football for you. So there's PUP now, which doesn't mean a ton. It just means you can't practice, can't pass a physical. But you can be activated at any time. If you are on PUP after first cuts, it means you have to miss the first 4 games this season. It used to be 6, now it's 4, same with IR. But this is one they do pay you, but this is a big deal because you don't count against the roster, but it does mean you cannot play for a month. So PUP now doesn't mean a ton. PUP when the season starts means a lot.
Okay, so like the Roquan Smith situation, that's just in the middle of negotiation. They're utilizing the PUP to kind of hide that situation?
I mean, I assume that he's like, my hamstring hurts, my back hurts, whatever. So, that's. I think they could decide not to fine him, but I think they're basically just you stay over there. When we get your contract done, then you get active. I get the sense that's more of like just a kind of in name type of thing.
Yeah, it's a smart way to do a holdout, by the way. Going forward, teams now could do this if a player doesn't want.
That's the trend.
Yeah, it's going to be. It seems like the smart move. Have people done this before? Did this happen last year for a holdout, a PUP holdout?
I feel like it did happen in the past. I cannot remember one, but I know we talked about it. So I feel like it's not, new, but it is pretty smart. Now, the other PUP thing, the Jimmy Garoppolo thing, Jimmy Garoppolo did not go on PUP, which doesn't mean he's healthy. But it does mean if the 49ers cut him, they do not owe him $7.5 million in injury guarantees. So it's basically their way of saying, like, he's pretty good. Maybe not fully cleared, but he's pretty good. And he's not practicing anyway, so it doesn't matter really what list he's on.
You think Jimmy's pissed about this or no?
There was a lot of conversations between the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo's representatives before his physical. They have been very transparent, so I believe they explained their decisions to Garoppolo's agents beforehand, and I think everyone is okay with it. Now, for Jimmy G, if he gets traded, that would be the best for him because he would get his full salary. There is a possibility he gets cut if they can't find a trading partner. So either way, I think Garoppolo, it's going to work out okay for Garoppolo. Either he'll get paid or he'll get to pick a spot.
Does this mean that because he wasn't put on PUP, the decision is imminent?
See, I don't get that sense. I know they've said hopefully sooner rather than later, but I don't get that sense because if you're trading for him, you have to know he is 1,000% good, and he's not going to be fully ready till mid-August.
IR means injured, can't perform?
IR means if you put someone on IR right now, their season's over. That's it. If you put them on IR after first cuts, it means you can come back after 4 games. So that's IR now, season over. If it's after the first cuts, that means you can return, but you have to miss 4 games.
And then if somebody gets hurt and they opt not to put them on IR because then they owe them the full salary, there's an injury settlement that gets negotiated by who? The player?
You go on IR first, and then you negotiate a settlement based on the amount of games when you would theoretically be cleared for.
Okay, reserve left camp and reserve retired. What do those two mean?
So reserve left camp is when a guy is basically like, peace, I'm out of here. I just don't feel like doing this. And they don't owe you anything. Reserve retired is like, we retain your rights. If you come back, we're going to trade you, but we retain your rights. You are just retired. That's what the Patriots did with Gronk. That's why they were able to trade him to the Bucs and get draft pick compensation for that.
Okay, I appreciate you breaking all these down. Last question from me. It just came in. Deebo Samuel is a hold in. He's there, but what's up, dude?
Hey. That is Mike Garafolo.
Oh, we see him on Good Morning Football.
All the time.
We see him on Good Morning Football. I got a pinky ring on here for you, Paisan. Hope you enjoy it.
I've always wanted to be on the Pat McAfee Show.
That's not the way you sound like when you talk about our show and Aaron and shit on NFL, though.
What did I say?
Oh, yeah, you got the tone in which you speak about Aaron and the way he talks to us, don't you think, you little Paisan?
I don't remember this at all. This doesn't sound like anything I said.
No, yeah, I don't remember either, to be honest. We actually enjoy you a lot. You should come on our show whenever, brother.
Hey, we did it! There we go!
He's on right now.
How's your family?
It's like showing up to the dinner party you weren't invited to. Like, hey,
no, everybody's invited. Listen, we got 100 people on the microphone. Yeah. Everybody's invited whenever.
Yeah, this is Dwight Schrute showing up to the dinner party in the office, with his babysitter. All right. Listen, by the way, I love that you're quizzing him on the things he's supposed to know anyway, that he was asking me about before he came on to make sure he knew what the hell he was talking about.
I love that. I love that Garafolo's the actual research partner here for you. Ian, I love that Garafolo, the Paisan's making you a lot better at what you do. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you. It wasn't, now, let him, I do think he did have some tone about, I think I seen one thing he did, and I was like, okay, hate that guy forever. I might be wrong, though. That might be because he is a good guy, right? Garafolo's a good dude?
Great guy. Everybody loves Garafolo.
Yeah, you just went to him for information. It wasn't a quiz for you, by the way. It's for the listeners. Tell Garafolo we do the show for the people that are watching and listening, Garafolo. This ain't a quiz of Rapoport. This is like information for people, Ian.
I serve the people, too. That is I'm here for the people.
All right, well, serve the people of the San Francisco 49ers faithful and let them know if they're in a good spot or a bad spot. Via Lombardi himself, Deebo Samuel not practice today. He will condition on the side. Yep. Technically a hold-in, but he had a great talk with Shanahan per the 49ers coach. Negotiations between San Francisco and Samuel's agent, Torrey Dondy, are ongoing. And is everything Dondy with Torrey Dondy and the Niners and Deebo? And are they waiting for the Jimmy G $20 million to get off the books to handle the Deebo Samuel contract? I know those allegedly have not been one and the same, but that feels like pretty coincidental, doesn't it? I mean, you tell me.
I do not believe that Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be off the roster to do a Deebo Samuel deal. I think they could get it done otherwise. If they need to create space, which maybe a little, I think they could get it done. I think for Garoppolo, they'd like to get. I think if they
what just came
for
out?
Garoppolo, they'd like to get a trade. They'd like to wait as long as possible.
Okay.
But for Samuel, I think this is smart. You do not want him to get hurt before he does his new contract. I'm not saying he's going to, but you certainly don't want to put him at risk. There's nothing wrong with a hold in. I think that's totally fine, and kind of that's what he's doing.
Okay, so the Bears and Roquan Smith put him on PUP, so they didn't have to fine him whatever $100,000 a day for not being at training camp with the new CBA for the holdout. The Niners don't do the PUP. He's doing a hold in. So you got to think that their relationship much better than Roquan and the Bears.
No. I think. I mean, look, there's always tension. There's always tension when you have contract, and I got to run in 1 second. There's always tension when. There's always tension when you have contract negotiations. I don't think anyone is in a bad spot. I mean, I think when both these guys get paid and both of them deserve to get paid, I think it'll be fine. It's really more just a technicality, I would say, as opposed to anything else.
All right. Appreciate you, Ian. Have a good day. We'll see you on NFL Network, pal. Garoppolo said something, didn't he? That's all I'm thinking about now. I might have misconstrued him. I think is he good? We like Garoppolo.
I think I'm trying to remember from either last year or during the
I'm
contract.
guessing at some point he probably. I mean, a lot of people were saying stuff last year. So it's,
everybody.
He was reporting that Aaron was telling potential free agents that he will not be in Green Bay.
Oh
year.
There it is.
See, it's never like that type of stuff though. It's always a tone in which something is said where I'm like,
personal attack against
that seems like a little bit, but and for some reason, when his face popped in there, that was the feeling my whole body got.
Yeah,
that happens.
But I've been wrong before. Believe me, there's been some fuckers that have caught some strays that was not.
You're probably
that
right.
was not me. I got some. That was. Oh, I do apologize.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, I want to let you know for like the last 4 years, I have hated you, and you didn't know that because I'm never around you. I never talked to you, but I do apologize for all this, because it clearly wasn't you. It was
somebody else.
It could
but that is the way I've been built. I apologize. I just have to hate people that I feel like are hating me that have never met me before. So you don't like me, I don't like you. This is an easy thing. We both move along as opposed to worry about it. So I apologize for hating you for the last 4 years, even though you didn't know I hated you. There was among some friends, I've said some hilarious things.
Happy we're friends now.
I apologize for some of the things that I have definitely said
That's right.
about you that you did not say about me. I apologize. That might be about Garoppolo, but that was cool to see him.
It could have been, certainly could have been Garoppolo, but it also could have been the guy who always has a tone when he's talking about Rodgers, and that's Mazzarelliano.
True.
Mazzarelliano?
Yeah.
I mean,
that sounds like a very racist.
It does.
You are
Italian.
Anti-Italian
It doesn't
slander.
matter.
Not on this show.
You can't do that.
You can't do that on this show.
Yeah.
What are you going to say? Oh, this Mazzolini.
Pacelli,
What are you going to do?
mozzarella.
Oh, you pulling your horn out, pal?
Come on.
You pulling your horn out right now?
That was disgusting.
He did just pull it out.
He did.
That was
First off,
gross.
I'm Italian, and I did just get a DNA test to prove it to everyone. But then I was about to spit into it.
Show
I
us
got
the numbers.
scared that I wouldn't be my parents' son or something like that, so I didn't do it.
Smart. And also, they're collecting everybody's DNA.
Yeah, to clone
Farm
you.
clones.
Yeah. See you at the North Pole. Clones.
You are Coach Diggs' son.
The guy on Get Up.
Mazzion.
Oh, Mazzarelliano.
Mozzarella
And that's disgusting.
Jeez.
Especially for our show that has done so much for the Italians.
We love Italians.
My last name is Julio. I'm Italian.
Well, Couldn't
You're
tell.
You're one of the only ones. You and Marauder are the only ones that are allowed to do what you just did.
Well,
Can you imagine what he would have said if one of us would have called
Well,
Maz?
me, I'm okay.
Maz?
I'm okay, by the way. You see
If I would
this?
have called
You
Maz
see this?
Mozzarella Eni, I mean, he
We'll
might.
slip it in next hour.
place would explode.
See how it goes. Jesus, that's let's get
That was
let's get
crazy.
to a break. That was
Christ.
despicable out of you.
Yeah.
You hear me?
I'm shook.
As a pro go Italiano show, I am not happy with what
I
you
couldn't
did.
remember the guy's name.
So you just exactly
Mozzarella.
that's what we're talking about. You just started adding everything
Yeah.
Italian into it.
Yeah, but we know a guy with the last name Mozzarellini, so it's
we,
not
no, we actually
Who? Vinny?
Mike.
Mike Mozzarella.
Let's get to a break. What did we learn there? We learned about the lists.
Yep.
Roquan Smith is doing the modern holdout.
Yes.
Put me on PUP. I'm not coming in.
Hurts and
Deebo
Sirianni.
Samuel is doing the modern hold in. He's not practicing, but he's doing conditioning. That's good. At least he's doing something, and he's there. He's probably in meetings because it'd be awkward just to sit in your hotel or dorm while everybody else is in meetings. So it feels like that one's a lot closer to being finished. Jimmy G not on PUP, so they can cut or trade him, not owe him $7.5 million. Okay, kind of thought that was the case. But remember, anything you hear about anybody right now, you have to think of the reason. Maybe the person is just hurt. But also, maybe there's some salary cap that they're trying to figure out. There's some negotiations that are potentially happening. You got to start thinking from like every single angle. Because what's the angle is normally the conversation happening in the offices to decide what the fuck to do with somebody.
Also, the Eagles potentially being aggressive trying to get Russell Wilson. I don't remember that being maybe like popped up at the very start of him potentially leaving Seattle.
Sean, I remember them rumored.
Because that was because Deshaun was wearing a green hat. He was in Philly or something.
And they had the capital to make trades for those big guys.
But no, his green hat was for the Jets. He was in Philadelphia.
Yes.
So he's linked to the Eagles and then the Jets. And then, a lot changed.
Yeah, very quickly.
That was before we knew anything.
Right.
About anything.
Yeah,
One of the teams that he had before he said no to the Browns.
Before he said no to the Falcons.
Yep.
Saints.
Panthers.
Because
it was Falcons and Saints there for like a day.
Then he got $230 million guaranteed.
Yep,
Yeah.
did happen.
And now nobody knows how long he's going to be playing. The Honorable Judge Sue Robinson will make her decision hopefully soon, but everybody says she has no timeline.
Nope. Taking her time. Which is smart.
What are you shaking your head about, Ty?
Make a fucking decision.
Oh, whoa!
All right.
Let's get to a break. We'll be back in forth with some phone
Jesus.
calls. I did not agree with the statements that were just made by somebody that speaks into a microphone with my name on the show.
Or Mozzarellini.
That's disgusting.
You
We're
are
back
a
and forth
scumbag.
with a new show. We're going to get baptized during the break
we
out of
go.
Baby Lordo, and we're going to come back a much better show
Sounds
with
good.
some phone calls on the 500 phone line 1-833-4-McAfee, and a lot to talk about. It is training camp time for the NFL, and we are just days away from me beating the hell out of ass Corbin seeing for. Connor, your question for Dana.
Yeah, Dana, are you worried now that your gift of $250,000 got out to the Noke Boys that that's kind of like your floor when it comes to birthday
Hey,
gifts
my
now
birthday
for
was in
everybody?
May, dude. My birthday was in May 2nd.
You know what? I'm glad you asked me that question. Let me set this record straight.
Oh.
First of all these people on the internet, go fuck yourself. Okay? I spend my money however the fuck I want to spend my money. Mind your own fucking business, number one. Number two, if you look at what Kyle and the Nelk Boys have done as far as Howlerhead and a lot of other things that they've done, those kids have never asked me for anything, ever. Never asked me for anything. And they couldn't be better people. Kyle has done so many things for me. And believe me, the $250,000 that I gave him for his birthday does not cover the amount of things that kid has done for me.
That's awesome.
So don't count other people's money and mind your own fucking business.
Yeah, somehow you became an asshole when really it was one of the nicest friends gifts I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, somehow this piece of shit just gifted a friend of his $250,000. It's like, well, I think that's isn't that a nice gesture?
Well, what they act like, what these, and a lot of this is driven by the scumbag MMA media. So what happens is they act like there's this massive safe here at the UFC offices that says fighter pay on it. And I go in there and I just grab whatever I want out of the fighter pay. No, you fucking pieces of shit. This is money that I actually have made over an entire career, and I will spend it however the fuck I want.
Hey,
Hell yeah!
Hey, that felt good to get that off your chest there.
I'm so glad you asked me that question.
Had a baby, Connor.
Here we go.
You and the MMA media always hated each other? Always? Or?
I mean, listen to me. You can go back to New York when I was just in New York. Listen to the questions that these people ask me. Tune in Saturday night at the press conference and listen to the questions that these people ask me. It's like one of the guys is like, hey, I just fucking ripped some guy for asking me a stupid question, right? Then the other guy says, you're probably going to get aggravated with me. I'm fucking Jimmy from ABC Sports Radio. But, it's my job. I have to ask these questions. So he asked me about Jake Paul, right?
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. Your job is to ask me questions about a guy who isn't in my company and doesn't even fight in this sport.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that even make sense?
He wouldn't be doing his job, Dana.
Right?
The guy, he wouldn't be able to sleep at night if he didn't ask you that, Dana. You would think they would appreciate you, though, because you're putting on fights like every fucking weekend at this point, right? There's no way.
And they all get to work. They all get to work. They all have jobs. They all whatever.
The sport's never been like that, though, right, Dana? I mean, what you're doing right now, unprecedented, right? And maybe I don't know the small niche MMA community as much as I probably should, and I feel bad for that. But you guys putting on fights like every single weekend is not normal in the combat sports world, I don't think, or...
Not at all. Not even close. First of all, no promoter in the history of the world has done what we have done,
Welcome back. Hour one on this Wednesday, July 27th. Just 3 days away from the day that I say.
What?
That bum-ass Corbin's a bum-ass Corbin.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
What song was that?
Right there? Yeah. So, good transition, Connor. This is from DJ Griff. This song is called Kirk Cousins.
Wow.
Let's talk about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, whenever Kevin O'Connell and the new GM,
Kwesi
Adolfo Mensa.
Yeah.
That's 100% on me, okay? I will learn that better. I knew the 3 words.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the...
Sure.
That's on me.
That'll be an easy one to remember, though. You won't forget that.
Kwesi Adolfo Mensa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember,
have
pretty
to get that in
different.
there. General manager of the Minnesota Vikings. Fucking only 32 of them playing real life fantasy football. Incredibly successful. Congratulations to him. He signs a deal. Kevin O'Connell comes in there. Allegedly, in the first couple of days, Kirk Cousins sent a group text to both of them saying, hey, this is what I think we need to do after what we just went through with Zimmer. Now, there has been mixed reports on how Zimmer and Kirk Cousins feel about each other. Kirk Cousins has spoken publicly and taken the high road, as has Zimmer, I believe. Others that have been in that locker room and in that building said, nah, neither of them should have taken the high road. They should have let everybody know that they fucking didn't like each other. So maybe this is the year, and we've had even some optimism, that the Vikings take the next step, even though it's a first-year head coach, first-year GM, and you should not expect that out of any teams that have that, mostly because it feels like Kirk Cousins got a little dog in him, and Kirk Cousins is going to be let off the leash.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it was a bit alarming whenever we heard and read these quotes that Kwesi Adolfo Mensa said about Kirk Cousins. He says, Vikings GM Kwesi Adolfo Mensa admits he's nervous about not burning it down at QB. I think he got a new deal. Kirk Cousins got a new deal. Acknowledging that Kirk Cousins is good, but we don't have Tom Brady, we don't have Pat Mahomes. Is this meant as a negative? It feels like it. And why would this come out first day of training camp? I don't know. I saw a lot of Vikings fans and NFL fans after I quote tweeted that and said, oh, harsh. Everybody was like, is he wrong, though? Is he wrong, though? It's like, no, but he's not a fucking pundit on TV either.
Yeah.
He's a general manager of a team, and it's day one of the training camp. Yeah. You just gave this guy a new deal, and he is your quarterback. It kind of feels like you're cutting him down at the fucking knees. Yeah. But Kirk Cousins doesn't give a damn. He'll bounce back stronger. Hour 2 on the other side. Hit it.
Nice.
Had this. Way to go, Z. Way to go. Zito got 2 seconds in my ear. He goes, hard out coming. And it did. But that was interesting to kind of see that.
Oh, yeah.
I guess Kwesi Adofo-Mensah did respond. I think he came in afterwards and had a response to the entire thing. This is what he had to say after the backlash of obviously him saying, we don't have Tom, still in the NFL. We don't have Patrick Mahomes, still in the NFL. We just gave this guy a new deal, and he's our quarterback, and it's like the beginning of training camp. And this is definitely not the vibes you want to get off to a start with your franchise quarterback when you're a brand new general manager. It's not fucking good for anybody.
Yeah.
First year.
But if you're on the internet, completely valid.
Yeah, it's awful.
You're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
Exactly.
Because I got a lot of, once I said this was harsh, the amount of people that are like, this guy knows football.
Yeah.
So
He gets it.
What's the problem?
What's the problem here? It's like, well, you're not thinking about the team and the human aspect. Kwesi answered this thing. I think we should go full screen on this. Adofo-Mensah on Tuesday took the time to clarify some comments he made in a recent USA Today story where he said, you never want to go full Rams. The team that won all in last season and traded to get Matthew Stafford then won the Super Bowl. That was probably not the best turn of the phrase, I think, in my evolution. I have a great deal of respect for the Rams and what they've done. To be able to put all your chips in the poker table at a lot of times wise, you want to be able to do it 2, 3, 4 times so that you can win 1 or 2 Super Bowls. That's ultimately what I meant. Okay, they won a fucking Super Bowl. He also said in the piece, the one asset where you get nervous about not burning it down is quarterback. Adofo-Mensah's biggest decision in the offseason was whether to keep Kirk Cousins in Minnesota or go in a different direction to seek a trade partner. He said Tuesday that wasn't in reference to keeping Cousins, who signed a 1-year extension, is making $40 million this year. Kirk knows how I feel about him. We're in a great place. I love his mindset coming into camp, and that's where we're at. Okay, so I don't want to judge him by this guy's going to stink as GM.
Yeah, that was not a good start.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to be this guy. Okay, I don't want to. And I assume this is going to make its way back to him. I think that he'll probably hear this. And I've never met this guy. Massive respect. You got a GM job. Way to go. You're much smarter than I am. I think you're fucking dropping the ball immediately before the first training camp day even starts.
Can't be putting your foot in your mouth and contradicting yourself this early, especially when it comes to,
anything.
And much less the guy you just gave a $40 million extension.
Kevin O'Connell just came from the Rams too, right? The coach?
Yeah.
The coach just came from the Rams. Don't want to be the fucking Rams. All right. Kevin O'Connell just got a Super Bowl ring the other day because of it. We don't have Pat Mahomes or Tom Brady. Okay, you just gave $40 million to Kirk Cousins. Listen, these can all be inside thoughts. Yeah. But whenever you're speaking for the franchise, for the program as a general manager, probably shouldn't make it public. I assume Kirk doesn't give a fuck because Kirk at this point has a lot of guaranteed money. He's made it. He's successful. He's been through it. Everybody's buried him for many different reasons. I think he's cool with it. But as an outsider looking in, and everybody calls us a very pro-Packers show, I think we're also a pretty good Viking show as well.
Pro NFC North.
Pretty good with Thielen. Pretty good with Kirk. Kevin O'Connell came on. Was pretty good.
Justin
Jefferson's been on numerous times. Kyle Rudolph is obviously no longer there, but Harrison Smith hits it. Yes.
Dalvin Cook.
Exactly. I feel like we're also pretty good over there. Just as somebody who has a lot of appreciation and respect for the players over there, watching GM do this before he even gets started, and he's a new GM, so he'll have to learn and everything like that. Like, shut the fuck up. You know, like you have no idea what your team's going to do. And I'm in no position to say it to anybody, but after reading his clarification comments, it's almost like, why is this guy GM? I have no idea how this guy got a GM job.
It's one thing to say you never want to go full Rams if, say, they lost in the playoffs last year or something like that, and then they didn't have a full team that's also favored potentially to win the NFC again this year. But then it kind of sounds like he's self-handicapping because he doesn't believe in Kirk Cousins.
So you think he's setting expectations a little bit lower to Vikings fans? Hey, not only do you have a new GM and a new head coach that have clearly never done this before, you hear the way I'm speaking publicly. Yeah. You hear the things that I'm saying. Also, we don't got quarterbacks worth fuck. I mean, what? How is that how you started as a general manager? Well, I have no idea.
Maybe Kwesi just wants to get, you like that from Kirk Cousins in his own face so he's getting fired up.
All right, let's get to a break. AJ Hawk will be on the other side. He did get his internet back around 11:15 last night.
Okay.
Wow. Got a celebratory text. Okay. Yes, got a celebratory text from AJ last night about 11:15. I assumed he was asleep by then because the robot has to wake up and do his workouts.
Right.
We'll talk to him about what Kwesi had to say in his clarification comments. And am I right or wrong in thinking, this is a big dumb dipshit?
You didn't clarify much.
This guy. I'm not normally like that either. I think I'm a pretty positive guy.
I saw a lot of Viking fans saying, hey, this guy needs to do a little less and say a little less.
Hey, just fucking put the team together.
You never see that type of stuff coming from anybody.
A GM, think about when Bean comes in here and he talks about like Josh Allen. Think about Chris Ballard.
Let's go.
Especially not a guy it's his first day on the job.
I have zero resume at this position. I've had zero success at this position. But fucking neither is Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins sucks.
All right, we're back in a minute and 15 seconds. We're all learning. It's early in the season. Can't wait to see what he becomes, obviously. Rough start in my eyes, but maybe people like it. We're back for hour 2 on the other side.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show. Hour 2 on this. Everybody's in training camp. It's Wednesday. We're days away from bum-ass Corbin getting his ass kicked at SummerSlam. Hour 2 starts now.
Let's ride.
Wednesday, July 27th has obviously started in beautiful fashion. We do not have AJ Hawk yet. We have not been able to connect, so although the internet's come back, maybe his tech has not. Jeez. So we will have him join us immediately upon him calling us into the show. Can't wait to see his big home plate face. Representative of Ohio back on that screen after he got kicked off the show yesterday about an hour and a half early.
That's right. Well, I'm not so sure he had a vacation to get to at this point with this guy.
At Boston Connor, one member of the Toxic Table, right next to Ty Schmidt. Yeah, training camp has started. Vacations are over.
Yeah, I hope,
the Hawk family is a football family. Every football family knows when vacations are, when you start dieting, when you start getting back into shape, when you start working out a little bit. We're in a full routine. It's training camp right now. We should be in the best shapes we've been in some time. And there's no more time for vacations. AJ knows that. That's why he snuck 4 in last week.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure yesterday he didn't sneak in a pool day because he was like, you know what, I should maybe live a little. I just went to Tahoe, play my best round. I just went to South Carolina. I had to clean poops out of the boat toilet or whatever the hell he called it. Maybe he was doing that. Maybe his tech is fine.
Well, maybe his tech is fine. Maybe it's not. Can't wait to hear from him.
Maybe.
I need sun, though. I had a good tan about a week ago. Yeah. And there's been no sun in Indiana.
Yeah, for about 2 weeks. It's cloudy.
What's all about? Am I going to have to get in one of those Easy Bakes?
Maybe.
One of those Easy Bake ovens.
Could.
I used to do tanning beds back in high school and stuff, pretty regular basis.
Yeah?
Shave the body, tan. Oh, yeah. I was insufferable. Like, if you didn't know me, you hated me. They just immediately. Now, if you knew me, you probably hated me as well. Seemed like once I met people, they were much more fond of me. Sure. But if you had never met me or been around me, just one good look at me in high school, probably a good chance of, I fucking hate that guy. And it happened. It happened on a regular basis. Those were good old days, though. I had a good tan going. Oh, man, I used to glisten out of those tanning beds. Oh, they used to make you wear those stupid eye things. I never wore them. Nope. I never wore them. Wow. So I was an outlaw early in that whole game.
We don't need you getting any more tanning beds, okay? Last thing we need is you come in here on a Wednesday morning and say, hey, guys, I have 8 melanoma all over my body.
Do you remember? I bought a tanning bed. I was going to get back into it. I bought a tanning bed from one of these local, I think it's called Family Leisure is the name of the place. They just have like as seen on internet.
That's sweet.
That is their store, basically. Just random shit in there that is very expensive.
Pretty cool, though.
Great you want a pinball machine?
Boom.
What? Shuffleboard table?
Yeah, you want a pool. All right, there's an in-ground pool and an above-ground. Like, they just have the internet for sale right there in front of you. And they had, I was just walking through there one time, probably not high at all because it was in Indiana. Of course. Probably very low. Couldn't have been. Yeah, it's illegal. Mm-hmm. So I'm just walking through there and I just started picking things out like, okay, well, I definitely need, I need a golden tee.
Yeah, why not?
But take that.
Of course.
Definitely need that recliner set right there.
It looks good.
Thank you. Oh, you got a red couch. I'll take that red couch. And then That tanning bed right back there. Has anybody ever used it? They're like, no. And we don't have any in the back, so do you mind having the floor model or whatever? I'm like, perfect, even better because it's cheaper.
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
floor model. So I got a good little bundle deal over there. Take that thing home, lay in it. Just cooked straight the bulbs.
Oh, no.
Actually striped me like a fucking zebra.
Yeah, marks.
I look like I worked at Champs walking out of that fucking thing.
Oh, shit.
Or Foot Locker, whatever it is. I literally got out of there. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Have a tanning bed at the house. I'm going to be fucking tan all the time. Stood up. My ass had 2 streaks right down the middle of it.
That's
how
the worst.
white my ass was.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
What?
Year and a half had like tan because how white my ass cheeks are.
Jesus.
Yeah, but now I'm prepared for it, I think.
Yeah,
now I got a little base tan. Then I was hopping in there literally as Caspa. Now I'm trying to keep this tan, so it's a different world.
Yeah, maybe you just have to go back to the spray tan because, I mean, last time you did that, too, you got that rash all over your body, too.
Fungus on my whole body. My skin's such fucking weak.
No.
Weak, soft ass. You know what I mean?
It's just the Irish in you.
Just soft ass.
No.
Joining us now is a man who's not a soft ass.
Well.
This dude's hard chin, hard head.
What?
So much so he led the Green Bay Packers with tackles and he's 0 documented concussions.
That's right.
He played in the lead with your head, hit with your head era in the NFC North, cold, miserable, big bodies, not 1 documented concussion, while getting the most tackles in the history of one of the most storied franchises in the NFL.
Pretty good.
Still has his brain. Still can put sentences together.
Sure. Yep.
Absolutely.
He's incredibly toxic. He's a college football national champion. He's a Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who plugged back in the internet for Ohio last night, AJ Hall. AJ, you look better than ever.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. Yesterday I had about 6 to 8 hours of nothing. No internet, whatever's going on, man. But guess what? We got it fixed. I told you last night.
Yeah, were you Amish for a little bit? Did you get to experience? Did you go plow the land a little bit, till the land, make some maybe some cabinetry?
No, it wasn't. We had power. We just didn't have internet or TV, so that was the problem.
Oh, so you still had, sorry, Frank, you still go on the internet.
Yeah, on my phone. Yeah, it's the only thing I could. I couldn't text you from my computer or anything with iMessage and all that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure anybody
We're good.
does that.
Email.
What's the internet down for? What's that all about? You guys getting attacked because of what Wexy was doing?
Yeah, Wexy.
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
What was Wexy doing?
You tell me.
Oh, no.
You were at his house.
Wouldn't be surprised. FBI raid, cut the power.
Making money. That's what he's doing.
Wax?
That's what he does.
Yeah, he
Do
makes a
it-
lot of money.
selling what?
With who? You know, he had
Selling
a roommate.
clothes. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He had a roommate there for a while.
Yes, he did.
I watched a doc. Big house.
Pretty crazy.
Big house in a big side of town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he has a giant property that you can't even see, basically.
Oh, so you're telling me you didn't see Epstein going in and out of there every single day where he was roommates with Wexy for what, 6 months or something?
Yeah.
Back in
He's
like
lying.
in the early 90s, when I was driving up from Dayton at 8 years old, I saw Epstein cruising around.
Well, he's probably at that chicken place that you always talk about over there. The Great Chicken.
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Roosters.
What's it? Roosters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Roosters.
Did you ever just happen upon Epstein over at the local Roosters while he and Wexy were out and about?
No, I never did, but I know the
Frost
great
chicken.
people at Roosters. I don't think they'd let Epstein in. I don't think they would serve him their bones.
All right, Roosters.
Wow. Classy joint.
I respect Roosters. Roosters has great fucking chicken.
Top of the line.
We're just giving out at Family Leisure just had one.
Yeah, right.
Roosters is getting one now, but it's these are warranted. Family Leisure, if you're ever in Indiana, in one part of Indiana,
Yeah.
Yep.
you need to stop by said store.
It is. It's a great store.
Just a warehouse of shit from the
I was
internet.
connected. I was connected for that. That place sounds amazing. Like I think I would want to buy the whole store.
It is. I happened to buy a house just like 2 blocks away from it. And I was just hanging out, and I was just driving down the street, and I see Family Leisure. I'm like, what a bunch of fucking losers. I see like pools outside. It's got to be the worst store of all time. That's why I went in there, I think. Family Leisure in Indiana. Like, this has to be the worst store of all time. I walk in there. Oh my God. This is the coolest place I've ever been. They've gotten no less than $150,000 from me.
They always put the premier item right now because they know when you walk in, like, oh, I want that.
Yes. I mean, they have all the car sales tricks. You know,
Yep.
they put things up with good lights. It's
A lot of hot tubs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Trampoline.
they got a hot tub out of me.
They got a hot tub out of me. They got a trampoline out of me. They got an above ground pool out of me at one point. I mean, a theater, obviously the tanning bed, the golden tee. For days I've gone. I mean, I have gone in there. It's just that store is like the neighbor that was putting shit out in the front yard that he was selling. That basically just had my name on it. That's what that store is. Hey, guy with ADD who has too much money. Fucking, you want to buy this?
What do you think?
Yeah. Boom. That's what Family Leisure is. It's awesome. It is glorious. That tanning bed fucking cooked me though. I mean, that was not a great one.
Did you only use it once?
Yep. I mean, would you ever get back into something that made you look like a zebra for 4 months?
Yeah, I can't do that.
No, I mean, you know my little baby skin. I get burnt if I'm in there for 2 minutes or I'm outside for 2 minutes.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Let's move on.
Okay, speaking of that family leisure made me think of Russ's truck. Do they sell trucks like Russell Wilson drove to camp there?
Okay, so that truck
And
is
what is
sick.
that?
So I think you only find that online, custom Bronco maybe, or custom Dodge. I forget what it was. That's just like the Jeep that I bought at Meekum.
Yeah.
All souped up, has all the shit in it. He's got to have 5 batteries in that thing to power all the lights that they have. There's no way Russ is taking care of that on the day-to-day. It's a lot of maintenance. But goddamn, arriving to your first training camp at Mile High, looking that good, wearing your own jersey.
Hell
AJ,
yeah.
AJ, this dude's wearing his own jersey. Could you ever in your life fathom having enough confidence to walk outside in your own fucking jersey, not at a charity event, not going to a hospital, not doing anything for the team related? You're out in public rocking your own brand that looks so good.
Yeah.
We did go to the website. They still got Seattle Seahawks colors on there. They hopefully will get that turned over. Team 3 needs to pick it up. They've been trying to fucking ice out this goddamn car. They haven't been worried about that. But the Russell Wilson stuff looks amazing. His own jersey, though, showing up to training camp saying, hey, it's football time. And I'm sure that this isn't the first time Russell Wilson has worn his jersey in public. I put this tweet out because that's literally what my brain thought about. Me walking down the hallway in a mall and just seeing a guy with a Russell Wilson jersey on being like, holy fuck, that guy looks a lot like Russell Wilson. This little cosplay character is pretty sweet. And then I stop him. I go take a selfie with him. And as he gets closer to me, I go, holy fuck, that's actually Russell Wilson. Yeah. And he goes, let's ride. Take a photo. He walks away. I laughed for 30 minutes. Could you imagine having that much confidence? I could not. So I got nothing but respect for our Let's Ride God.
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. Extreme levels of confidence is needed to do it, to show up to camp like Russ did. But I just want to know if he wore that jersey the rest of the day. Like, he put that over his little shoulder shocks that they wear for walkthroughs and practice and wear that big old baggy jersey.
How many does he have? Does he have a home jersey too for himself?
That's a throwback, isn't it?
Did you see any other Broncos rivals? We're sure the whole team didn't wear their jerseys.
We are certain the whole team did not wear their jerseys. I have not seen every single player of the Broncos arrive, but I have it on good authority. I have it on good. I didn't even like wearing like Colts stuff in public because I felt like, oh, am I asking for people to ask me? And now I'm much lower on the totem pole of importance and popularity and everything than Russell Wilson. But him having just the gut sack to wear your own jersey, so awesome. He's a movie. He is a movie. He is literally, everybody's doing documentaries these days. Russell Wilson's like, hey, listen, I was actually put on this earth to be an NFL quarterback. Clear eyes, full hearts. Here we go. Here we go. Now let's get it bounce back. Mr. Unlimited. Hey, he's got everything you need for any energy and everything. It feels like he is this movie character all the time. Yeah. He is an NFL quarterback. What you think an NFL quarterback should be, how you think an NFL quarterback should operate. He's doing it all the time and dressing like it. What a fucking hero this guy is.
We've heard that he's the chosen one. It feels like now we kind of know he is the Denver promised child that will bring a Super Bowl back to, the great state of Colorado.
AJ, what if on a Thursday he puts one of the Seahawks Super Bowl jerseys on? Hey, a little throwback, Russ. You know what I mean? Let me go throwback.
The one they won. He wears like the jersey from the game, the Super Bowl they won. What if he shows up just to, inspire the boys a little bit?
Oh, yeah. God.
Get you one of these.
He wears his ring, you think? The Super Bowl ring?
All the time.
I don't know.
To dinner.
What's your problem? Why are you laughing like that?
Does he wear it on his throwing hand, on his right hand?
No,
during practice?
I think he put it on a chain and wears it around his neck, I assume.
I'd like Russell Wilson to know we do like you.
Yeah.
I love Russ.
Okay,
everybody loves Russ.
We are incredibly interested in you being an actual movie character, though, of what a quarterback's supposed to be. Any mic'd up that comes up from him in a game, I watch and I go, he's reading a script.
Yeah.
That has to be, that's not actually what happens in that moment in real life. That is only in like a Disney movie what happens in that. And they're like, no, that's how he is all the time. He is like that all the time. I'm like, well, who's writing for him? They're like, no, that's just his natural reaction. It's just be always the perfect example of what you're supposed to be.
And that's why I used to hate him, partly because, with the Seahawks and the Packers met each other in the playoffs a lot. But it was just like, oh, this guy's fucking phony. There's no way anyone's like this. He is like this. He's just kind of a fucking dork. And that's fine. fine.
Jesus.
He owns it,
This
and that's
guy-
why it's awesome. And
I thought
that's
he's the opposite of a
That's
dork,
why I
though.
love
Look
him.
at that picture.
That's what I'm saying. Do you
Yeah,
see
I
that
think
truck he's showing up? Put that
That
picture back.
truck was sweet.
You're calling this guy a dork?
What's he
That is
making
not a
up
dork.
for?
I mean,
Oh, look
Are
at
those
that.
missiles on the side, on the back? Are those missiles?
I haven't seen all the angles of this thing.
Look right there. What's on the back
Those
window?
are missiles.
He's got
oh yeah,
deflated footballs in there. He blows them up when he goes to play.
cruise missiles.
I do like that he has the spare tire just in case those fucking monster boys get
No,
popped.
that's not a spare tire. He uses that when he does workouts on it. Yeah, to flip
There's a
that tire.
sledgehammer right next to it actually just to bounce off of that tire. Can you go to the other? So that's a pickup truck that just
So many lights.
souped.
Yeah, dude, it gets dark in Denver.
Somebody said that's a Dodge.
Is that bulletproof?
Somebody said it's a Ram. Is that a Ram?
Gotta be.
I heard Bill fucking
that thing
saying
is
that earlier, but who fucking knows?
I just saw the internet saying this guy's
2,500.
drives
that
a
bulletproof?
fucking Dodge.
Got that exhaust up top so he can drive it in like 6 feet of water.
Of course. The rapids.
I mean, he's
I just thought of a guy on the internet who is certainly a white trash comedian talking about different manufacturers of vehicles.
Yeah.
And I mean, that video. Do you remember what I'm talking about right now? I'm forgetting what the two are. I think it's Chevy and Ford.
Who's a white trash comedian?
Yeah, if you were to type white trash comedian Chevy,
Chevy,
Ford
you'll find it.
into Google, this will pop
first
up.
person.
I think it's got millions and millions and millions of views comparing the two cars. You know, like I'm not even gonna say the line. I'm not doing it. I don't know how it was, but I thought of that immediately because that's what a lot of people say. Of course, Russ is a Dodge guy. I love when people get all fucking jacked up about it. Oh, you like Fords, huh? You like Fords? Is that what you are? Oh, you're a Chevy guy? Oh,
wow.
Oh, but that's a real thing, though, by the way. There's a lot of people that
It's a
do
real
think
thing on
that-
this show. What are you talking about? The John Deere question that you ask everybody.
Well, that's different.
That's different, AJ.
There's only one choice there.
Okay,
And that only happened because of something else that got, put into content.
Yeah.
that's right.
In the Hall of Fame of what the fuck. That kind of zoomed in on.
Here we go.
Zito has confirmed nobody else on the Broncos arrived in their own jersey.
What?
Okay. See, I love it. I love it.
All the other person to wear a jersey was a Jordan jersey.
Dude, no human in the history of the NFL has ever arrived in their own jersey.
awesome.
I
Well, that's what
appreciate
should be the
us getting- I appreciate us getting confirmation. This show's the best. Dude, this show is the best. We had it dead silent there for 10 seconds. Zito is so matter of fact. I just scrolled through all 95 photos that the Broncos have posted of everybody's arrival. Russell's the only one wearing the jersey. No shit.
Tell me,
No.
Peyton Manning never showed up to camp in his Denver Broncos jersey.
It's just, maybe at an event at camp, he might have been forced to put it on or something like that, but I've never seen the confidence enough. And then I literally put that picture, my wife, and I were talking last night about this guy wearing his own jersey and Sam, could you imagine me and you going out to dinner in Indianapolis, me wearing a McAfee jersey?
Do you think he does that? There's no way he does that.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I guarantee in college he was wearing his game jersey every time he went to class.
No way,
Every
dude.
time.
I've never seen
Game
anybody.
that.
I've never interacted
yeah.
with anybody that's ever done this. Have you? I've never. I've never have, AJ.
I mean, if you're being ironic, maybe, but I still don't see people do that.
Like maybe in high school, I guess, when you're forced to, but you're kind of forced to wear them on Fridays. You're kind of like
There's a chance he was paying tribute to Rich Carless, the great barefoot kicker of the Broncos, who kicked the 1986 overtime winner after Elway led the drive.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck. All right. So I still have not seen somebody wear their own jersey in public then. Okay. I'm happy we can go back.
But did it say Wilson on the back, though?
Well, we haven't seen it. I saw a lot of Broncos fans and Russell Wilson's fans going, that's Boucher's jersey, you idiot. And I was like, oh, no, did I miss? Because that would be a massive.
That's not.
He's number 9.
Yeah.
And also, Russ can't watch PG-13 movies. So.
My kids love that movie.
Well, your kids are also drinking beer out of Lord's at the age of 6 in 2022 somehow without services getting called. That's Ohio. There's a little bit of a difference in there. But Russell Wilson was created to be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
And if he was quarterback for my team, I'd be fucking pumped. I see him show up in his own jersey. I might have some questions, but I'm also thrilled that this guy loves being a quarterback as much as he does. And then you think about Aaron, how Aaron dressed up like Nicolas Cage from Con Air, and then Russ is wearing his own jersey. We were laughing good 30, 45 minutes last night as I was putting a pitch stitch together of them next to each other, and then the entire conversation. I mean, there's just different ways to do things, you know. And everybody.
Why did Aaron throw his bag?
I thought you would have an answer for that, hopefully, by today.
I wanted to ask him. I told him he should have dressed up as Garland Green. If you know that movie, that's a different character.
Nice. Steve Buscemi.
What's wrong with you?
Ooh. He's got a sordid past. Garland Green, not Aaron. Garland Green.
Okay, let's move on. Julio Jones has signed a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay. By the way, Russ, hope you have a good season.
Good luck, Russ. Good luck. Cook, Russ.
Hey, and we don't know this young generation, too. This young generation might be, hey, how do they know people could buy a jersey and wear it out in public if I don't do it myself? You know, it might be.
There's no rules. There's no rules to fashion. You can, like, if they say, oh, it's business casual, you'll see people in Zubaz pants. You'll see everything.
Well, I'm actually fashion forward, too. Mattel told me that.
What's awesome, too, is, you know, just you put Aaron's picture next to you. You could have put Kyler, too, because Russ is quarterback 24/7, 365. Kyler's only quarterback when he's at the facility. That's what you want Russ as a quarterback.
And we'll have Darius Butler joining us here in like a few minutes. I'm excited to ask him about the Kyler Murray stuff because he was a massive film guy. Darius was a massive film guy. By the way, everybody that's pretty much good at football, massive film people, because it's like, what else are you going to do all day, basically, I think, as a professional. But before we get to that, before Darius joins us, I want to ask you about your take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being able to pay everybody. Julio Jones, $6 million deal that could go up to $8 million. This came after we went off the air yesterday. He spoke this morning to local media in Tampa. He said the Packers were in the conversation, the Saints were in the conversation, the Colts were in the conversation. He ended up with Tampa, which probably less money than somebody else offered just because he wants to win a Super Bowl. And he said he's not there to step on any toes. He just wants to go ahead and do his thing. It was a great interview by Julio, but fucking great snag for their fourth option, maybe. Fourth option for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Julio Jones now.
Yeah, I listened to his interview that he did talking about it. It was cool to hear him say, like, yeah, he first asked if they had room for him on the roster down there, which is funny to hear Julio Jones say that. The guy is such
self-aware, though, by the way, too.
Yeah, good. And this is what a great addition to a team like this with Todd Bowles as the head coach now, like veteran guy that knows his way around the league, knows what's going on, knows how to treat veterans as well. And then Tom Brady, the quarterback. Yeah, this seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it? Why wouldn't Julio go there?
Yeah, why didn't Julio go anywhere else? Allegedly, it was because he wants to win a Super Bowl. That's what he wants to do. He wants to win a Super Bowl. And now, I mean, I'm not going to do what sports media would do. I thought he would come to Indianapolis because, pretty good relationship with this guy.
Yeah, true.
Pretty good relationship there. He said Aaron Rodgers came up in conversation. Mm-hmm. I assume the Packers might have offered more money.
Potentially.
Might have. Or, by the way, Julio might be saying all these team names just because it was angle. Just leverage for the Buccaneers, and you have to stick with it now. Because will the Saints, will the Colts, or the Packers ever come out from a position of authority and say, we did not talk to Julio Jones? Never. No. Never do that. Never, ever do that. Won't take the time to do it, and also won't potentially piss off their fan base for not talking to Julio Jones. So it's a pretty good line there. Joining us now is a 9-year NFL vet in the secondary at corner, nickel, and safety. Now he's the host of the Man to Man podcast, and he's incredible every time he's behind a microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler.
Hey,
D-Butt.
Fellas, what's up?
Hey, D-Butt, let's dive into what we're talking about right now. Julio Jones ends up in Tampa Bay. He said the Saints, the Packers, and the Colts were all in conversation this morning in a local media interview in Tampa Bay. He said there was more money elsewhere, wanted to win a championship. Asked Tom, do you have room for me? Julio, there's no lingering injuries, allegedly. He's now maybe a third or fourth option for the Buccaneers. What is this going to look like, you think, as somebody that has spoken very high regards of Julio Jones in the past?
Yeah, I mean, just like you guys, I remember him, in his heyday. Obviously, been in the league, it was Julio, and then for a lot of people, everybody else. I had AB up there as well. But, I mean, his talent is unbelievable. He's only 33 years old. Obviously, he's dealt with some injuries. But those teams, Saints, Colts, I forgot the other one you said. Packers, yeah. All those guys, veteran quarterbacks, kind of a teams that are built and ready to compete right now. So him going to Tampa and being a third or fourth option, I mean, that should work perfectly for him, perfectly for Brady. Hopefully he gets on that TB12 method and tries to stay on that field. But, I mean, I'm not going to listen to the same people that told me, Odell was washed when he was out in Cleveland. I still think it's a lot left in the tank for Julio, and he's in a perfect situation now, left with offense. You got Evans, you got Godwin, and now you got Tom Brady, obviously at quarterback.
Cam Brate too.
Yep.
Hey, Cam.
You got Brate. Yeah, so you basically replace, Gronk and his productivity in the red zone. You replace him with Kyle Rudolph and Julio. And I think, that's a pretty good replacement for that offense.
D, but I don't know if you saw the clip going around of Juju making a sweet diving catch at Kansas City's practice. How do you think they're going to work that guy into their offense?
I missed the highlight, but he's.
It was like the one where he jumped into the pool.
Yeah.
It was exactly like the one where he jumped into the pool in his TikTok ass. So it's paying off. Everybody's talking about it's paying off for the guy.
Hey, it's making his rounds. That's what he wants. But he's a productive receiver. He's a tough guy across the middle, a chain mover, and I think they got some speed guys. Obviously brought MVS over there. You drafted Sky Moore. You got Hardman, guys that can take the top off of defense, but you need another underneath receiver, and I think he'll fit right in with that offense perfectly. You got Travis Kelce, who's kind of going to be their number one receiver, their number one target, one of the best targets overall in the league. So I think Juju, he's just going to have to make tough catches across the middle, obviously be a leader, in that locker room. And he's a tough, hard-nosed guy. I don't think he was ever going to be that replacement to AB, that number one guy who you build your passing game around. But he's definitely a guy that you want, lining up to make tough plays in tough situations.
D-Bot, all the teams that are good load up in the position groups of like skill positions because they know an injury's coming and they know when the game matters, they need somebody who's going to be able to make a play for them. And it feels like the trend is to load up. How do you feel about Juju going to the Chiefs? Now you got Julio Jones going to the Bucs. We assume the Rams are going to sign OBJ. How come everybody isn't doing this thing? Or are people trying and now the players are just choosing not to go to places?
I mean, sometimes it's that. I think not very often, players pick and choose where they can go. But obviously a guy like Julio, he can do that. He's in a place where he's made a ton of money. He's played a lot of high-quality football, and now he wants a championship. And if I'm the Bucs, I would try to fit him in almost like a nickelback. I'll bring him in situationally. He's not a guy that I, want taking 50, 60 snaps a game. You get 30, 40 snaps. And then when the games mean the most, down the stretch, when his situation's third down, red area, things like that, you have Julio on the field. He's a guy who's going to get to spots and win one-on-one matchups. That safety is going to have to lean to Mike Evans. Someone's going to have to handle Godwin. He's one of the best slot receivers in the game. And now you got Julio, who's a lot of times probably going to be matched up on that second and third corner in one-on-one situations. So I still like him to thrive. But, yeah, it's every team is obviously in a different situation. Some teams manage the team and the cap better. And then, what vets are available. I think the Saints got a great vet in getting Juice in the slot for Jameis. I think that was a great move for them as well.
Whenever you look at the season and you try to project it, we all see it, don't we? Julio's about to have.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be like week 12, week 13. It's going to be a massive game. Julio's going to have 160, 3 touchdowns or something out of nowhere because somebody else got hurt. And it's going to be like, yeah, this is why this is why you sign. This is why you sign a Julio Jones if you can sign a Julio Jones. Let's move on now. I know you, football IQ through the roof. It was awesome to kind of watch it be on display during team meetings. Questions would be asked. Who has the answer? Couple people in the room. Normally, only Darius Butler. This clause in the Kyler Murray contract is not good for any party to be released publicly. What are your thoughts on it? And, should everybody in that locker room be looking at Kyler a little bit sideways for how fucking good he has been? And it's very evident he's probably nowhere near his potential right now.
You know what? Players know. Yeah. I feel like players know for the most part, who's grinding away at film, who kind of needs to do that. And some players honestly don't. Some players honestly have just a different feel for the game. Some players can watch too much film and kind of be out there thinking too much. I just saw an interview with Asante Samuel on I Am Athlete, and something shocked me that he said he didn't watch a lot of film. He didn't watch much film at all. It was more of a feel. And I remember having him on our podcast and asking him who's the top 5 receivers he played in. He was like, man, I can't even tell you the top 5 receivers. I can tell you quarterbacks. So everybody kind of goes about their business differently. And now in this team, the optics are definitely bad. But I think from the Cardinals standpoint, it was a great move for them. Yes. It was a smart move. Obviously, it was going to come out at some point. But we know the NFL, by Friday, nobody will be talking about this anymore. But now they've set the expectations. Hey, at least 4 hours away from the facility, studying. Those expectations are in writing. Kyler knows. And now the whole team knows, hey, he's investing, I guess, a little more. And the thing about film study, especially at that quarterback position, it's not only about you, anticipating what's coming, knowing the protections, knowing the coverages. It's about your receivers, the Paytons, the Tom Brady's, the Drew Breeses of the world. Those guys are like cyborgs, and they can go back and say, hey, in the middle of a game, hey, Reggie, you remember how we ran this concept against the Patriots in Week 11? Let's do it that way this next, third and medium that we get. And Reggie just kind of knows he can go back to that. So when your quarterback or your other teammates are kind of on that different level and they're calling you 10, 11 o'clock at night talking about plays from practice, it's a different level of commitment. And I think the Cardinals did a good job by setting that standard. And Kyler, he's been unbelievable if you look at his athletic career up until this point. So it's hard to look at him and say, what you're doing isn't working, buddy. So it's on him to obviously step up and improve, and it's on that coach too. Cliff got extended too this offseason, and I think he's been doing a good job. But down at that last quarter of the season in the playoffs, they haven't been able to step it up and make a push. So it's on everybody. And now we know the quarterback is committed. He's doing extra things away from the facility. The offseason, the baseball is kind of out of the picture at this point completely. And when you invest in $46 million a year into a player, fuck the optics. The results are the most important. I think the Cardinals did a great job with that.
Cliff fucking said, that ain't on me. Hey. They said, what do you think about the 4-hour film? So Cliff was like, fuck, I don't know. I heard about it from you guys. Yeah. That's somebody else. You're gonna have to ask somebody else about all that. Cliff's like,
AJ, how were you as a player? Were you a big film at home guy?
Yeah, especially as the iPads became more and more, those had everything loaded onto them. It was a lot easier. When I first got in the league, it was old school DVDs. You had to go ask to get the cut ups and what you want and all of that. But what I wanted to ask you about the addendum, though, were you surprised, like, at the detail it went into, saying you can't have video games on, you can't just be playing in the background? And what do you think Kyler's going to actually do?
Hopefully he just does the film shit.
Are they saying, hey, we don't want you in the FaZe clan anymore? Is that what they're trying to say?
Whoa. Yes. I think, you're putting that in writing. Look, these are the and 4 hours a week, that's not a lot. You can do 30 on the shitter. That was my go-to. Anytime I'm on the shitter, I got the iPad in there with me. But he can figure it out. But they were smart in saying, hey, no other distractions. And then in the offseason, you had another $9 million tied in the OTAs. So I think hopefully, this is, you getting 40-something million, 160 guaranteed. Like, shit, I got to watch 4 hours of film away from that. That's not a bad, I can deal with that, buddy. And I think you'll probably see more teams probably put this, in paperwork. Because we know of people, they keep track of iPads. Pat, we had a teammate who got called out. And I don't know if you talked about this on the show yet, who kind of got called out in front of the team for not opening his iPad since early October.
There's somebody in this fucking room who hasn't opened their iPad since they got it. In this room, your teammate. Somebody that's in here that says we're all in. We're putting remember we got our grit chips? We had our grit chips. We put them all in. Somebody in this room hasn't opened their fucking iPad since the day they got it. That was awesome. I'll never forget that. I'm like, oh shit, he's talking about me, I think. He's talking about me.
Hey.
It was not me.
Oh no.
It was not me. It was clearly somebody else. But they could track all of that. They could track all of it. It's a whole different game. You're saying you're thinking that's going to go in for guys that aren't necessarily quarterbacks, though. Like, this is just going to become something that is now a standard almost. I think from a business standpoint, like, way to go, Kyler, getting paid basically to do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
All right, like, hey, this
cool.
is probably what you're supposed to do. You're thinking this is going to become a trend, though, huh?
Yeah, I definitely don't think this is the last we see of it. And I think quarterbacks, for the most part, if you got a film ground on the team, it's usually at that position. But you may see this at other positions. You'll be surprised at the amount of guys who either, don't watch film or don't really know how to watch film. Unless you really have like a vet or you spend the extra time in the meeting rooms that can help you as an individual know exactly what you're watching, pick up different tendencies. Everybody kind of has their own way of going about it. But I think you need like an OG, somebody to kind of show you that way. Maybe Kyler didn't have that. And once again, the level of success he had, maybe he didn't think he needed it. And so now we'll see if it works and if he takes another step. But even if he doesn't, in that locker room as a teammate, hey, we know this guy is at least studying more and watching film away from the facility.
Kyler, come here. Kyler. Hey, listen. They put up a graph of when Call of Duty is dropped, and then your production immediately afterwards.
Whoa.
You tell me the truth. Yeah. You didn't give a fuck about our games whenever we were playing after Call of Duty dropped because how many people you were sniping?
No.
You were really good at the game?
Very good.
Okay, well, fuck you, kind of, but at least I respect that you're just telling me the truth right there. Did you see that graph, D-Butt?
I didn't.
Oh, it is damning. We don't know if it's real. We have not legitimized it. Wow. And obviously there's other factors that go into having success at the quarterback position, like your wideout number one guy being there or not being there. But there's this, somebody put a tweet up because of the addendum about video games being played in the background. Everybody knows, I guess he's a Call of Duty player. The way he performs, and then as soon as the Call of Duty, which just so happens to line up, I think, with the final quarter of the season, boom, everything just drops off the last 3 years or whatever. It's just like, boom, and then, we got to fucking get these maps down. We got to get these maps, boom, all the way down, and then they're just trying to play catch up the entire time. There's other factors in there, but certainly an interesting little introduction into contracts in the NFL. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, D-But now training camp has started. How long does it take, whether it be like a D-back or a wide receiver or quarterback, to know, like, oh, we got a guy here? And how long does it take for, players to kind of get comfortable with each other on both sides of the ball?
I don't know. It's kind of different. Obviously, the guys that are returning, you kind of know, who they are. Even like a Mac Jones, who took a ton of reps at quarterback last year. He comes in this year, and you can see the difference, maybe at the line of scrimmage or maybe just the throws. The anticipation is different. But for newer guys, you don't really know until those lights come on. Those real, even the preseason. Preseason games, some guys look like all-stars at practice, but once those lights come on and things just go a little different, you can prepare as much as you want to, but once that game comes, it's going to be different challenges, different things that happen throughout it. And some guys step up and some guys get small under those lights. And then once the regular season comes, it's kind of that same thing. It's that notch up once again. And then as that season gets older and older and older, it gets tougher and tougher to perform. And that's kind of even what you're seeing with Kyler. Like, because it's easy to, or easier, should I say, to get out week 4, week 5 and catch teams off guard. When you get to week 13, week 16, 17 playoff games, at that point, everybody knows what you're doing. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, everybody knew those plays. You knew the offenses, but the guys just executed and knew what was coming on the other side more. So you don't really know with these guys, for me, until those real lights come on.
More money on the line at the end of the season. Playoff checks are on the line. More eyes are on the line, and there's more information for everybody to have. What trends are at this point, what you're likely to do. Remember, like Baker Mayfield there, his first 2 years, anytime there was any pressure, he's just rolling out to the right. So then defensive coordinators who have brains are like, okay, so we'll just show that we're going to go, he'll run, and then we'll just fucking feed. It'll be boom, boom, boom. And that's hopefully why Kyler will be able to get even better, right? Self-scout even in the film study of whatever he's doing. Oh, they're getting this tendency, they're getting that tendency. Hopefully somebody able to help him. I'm fucking pumped to see what Kyler can become in the NFL. And I'm happy it took them paying and putting a contract addendum in there to do it. Last question from me before I think Diggs has one for you, D-But. Did you see what this GM for the Minnesota Vikings said? And listen, this guy might be a big dumb dipshit, honestly. He went to Princeton, so I guess he's got a good brain and he reads books well and he's very good at math. I just read one of his quotes. But now is not the time. Your first year as general manager with a quarterback that you just paid $40 million guaranteed to, who is maybe getting freedom and empowered for the first time in his career, almost after what we've heard through about him and Zimmer, to come out and be like, yeah, we ain't called Patrick Mahomes, we ain't called Tom Brady, dude. You got to find this nerd from Michigan State. And who wants some? He wants some. That's interesting because I think that is a real part of it all. Managing the humans that are on your team, as well as managing the roster. Some teams can do it great, some teams can't. I think it becomes evident on who's successful and who's not. Am I wrong in overanalyzing all that shit, D-Bud?
I know. You're definitely not wrong. You're just not good, especially from, obviously GM, very, very important role. But you're not a coach, you're not a player, and you're speaking on those guys in the roster. And that's our quarterback. That's the guy that if you look around the locker room, it's probably realistically maybe 8 to 10 teams who realistically you look around the locker room and you say, all right, we got enough talent in here to actually make a run and go for it, win the whole damn thing. The Vikings will be one of those locker rooms, in my opinion. And Kirk Cousins, a lot of people, take jabs at him. He's kind of like the line for above average or below average. But I think Kirk Cousins is a damn good quarterback. And no, Very, very honestly speaking, the GM, he ain't Patrick Mahomes, he ain't Josh Allen, Lamar, one of those guys, but he's a good quarterback in this league. I don't think you do that to your guy, especially when you're preparing for the season. This is at the point we're all getting those first meetings, and everybody's saying, "Hey, the goal for this year is the Super Bowl, baby."
We got the guys.
Yeah, we got the guys. You look around, you look at your quarterback. So you don't do that. But maybe it puts an extra chip on Mr. March's shoulder. Kirk Cousins, he'll go out there and do his thing this year.
How about Kevin O'Connell in his first team meeting as NFL head coach? Rallying the troops. We got the guys in this room. Look around. Quessy did a great job putting this roster. Quessy, you want to say anything? Everybody's good. Let's quarterback. All right, thank you, Quessy.
Go get him.
All right. Let's go to break it up into position groups. Jesus Christ. I mean, that is just an interesting way to start. And you said...
Oh, man, while we speak about quarterbacks, I saw you post the Russell Wilson shit last night.
Warzone jersey,
sweet.
public.
So sweet.
So sweet, so cool, D-Bot. You don't have the confidence to do it. Nobody in the history of anybody we've ever known has had the confidence to do that.
I couldn't believe it. When I saw it, I literally went back on Wikipedia to 1960 because I just knew it was some quarterback in Broncos history I didn't know about, before pre-Elway. I just knew he had on his throwback. Went back all the way to 1960. I said, I text one of his old teammates, bruh. Just sent him the picture. He was like, bro, he said he had it made, and then just sent a bunch of crying like, this is different. Different dude, different level of confidence. The truck is sweet.
Yeah.
But walking into training camp, which that's wild.
He's out of a movie, D-But. He's a movie guy.
Gotta be, yeah.
Every day.
Is he moving a lot of merch? Team 3 merch?
Yeah.
Gotta
Sky Blue, AJ?
Yeah. Jesus
Come on.
Christ.
What do you
I
think?
don't know if I've ever seen anybody wearing the gear other than Russ.
Oh, get out of here.
Open your eyes.
Russ isn't the only one wearing his jersey in public, dude. All right, fucking hey. Go ahead, Diggs.
D-Butt. So I saw a report that Sam Darnold's going with the ones today. Baker will go with the ones tomorrow, and I assume they'll switch on and off. And then I just watched a video where Baker threw an interception where he underthrew the ball by no less than 20 yards. Is it given that he's going to start on?
Surely they're on the same page, right? Him and the wide receiver.
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm saying, is it a given that he's going to start week 1?
If I had to bet on it, I would bet that he would. And it's gonna be tough though. It's gonna be some growing pains. Obviously, this is his first action with these receivers. I didn't see the clip, but I don't really pay much attention to training camp clips. I expect Sam Darnold. They're probably telling Sam Darnold like, "Look, you got the leg up. You've been here. The guys know you know the offense. You've been here all offseason. It's your job to lose." So Baker's gonna have to come in there and outplay him. But I think the talent gap between those two players, it may not show up in practice, but when those real lights come on, like the talent gap is marginal between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. I think Baker Mayfield is a much better quarterback.
And since we have you two defensive stooges on, unless everybody on the offense is back and they're running the same offense, beginning of training camp normally see ball, get ball, defensive advantage? The answer is yes. You guys used to fucking just smoke every single year. First couple weeks, I thought, we're punting 7,000 times this year. That's used to be what I would think the first week of training camp normally.
Well, as a vet, you just got to know. All right, especially with the same team, you coming in, install day ones. I know what kind of install, what kind of route concepts you're getting. I know, so you can kind of jump some plays as things get a little more complex. It gets a little more harder. But yeah, the first week. You know, okay, I got a flat. All right, I'm jumping this curl. Like, it's coming.
Yeah, and then the 2s and the 3s also quickly realize, they're running the same fucking plays.
Yeah, tell that.
Same
You
place,
should tell the
4 plays
2s.
later.
D, but we should let people know if you're not a 1, especially during training camp, watch the first group because they will probably be running the same offensive plays against you. Say you're on defense, you're with the 2s. Watch that first. And it's not cheating because they're showing you the plays. So go be in the right spot when you get in.
I would say,
make the team.
As an observer, I will say, I mean, it's not cheating, but it certainly gets treated as such. Doesn't it? I mean, there's always,
you can't be obvious about it.
Aren't you so smart? Just fucking saw it. Like, there's a position group that is pissed. Probably
always
wide receiver coach, maybe quarterback coach. Okay, yeah. All right, that's what we're doing now.
That's been a pro. That's been a pro. You got to take mental reps, see what happens. You trying to make the team, and those practices should be like damn near games. So when you go in and you got your install the night before, go over that install, come in the next day with some questions, and once again, just like AJ said, you're going to see the same plays scripted over and over. You only have so much time in training camp. You got to make sure everybody can learn and pick up the plays and run them. So take that. That's a good nugget right there from AJ.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it was pretty quick. Me and Vinny just watching practice. Oh, these are the same plays over and over again. And then there would be like a guy who's a special teams guy that I liked, special teams guy that I liked on like the threes. I'm like, hey, they're running the same fucking plays. Yeah. They're running the same. Let's go ahead and fucking make this team here, pal.
What's your problem? That's the thing, though. You'll never get yelled at worse, I feel like, a coach. Say you go with the twos and they run like a boot and you're backside and you're supposed to have the guy coming back across the formation and you're chasing all the way across the field and the coach is like, hey, they ran this play 3 minutes ago, you idiot.
Yep.
It's a one. What are you doing? Stay home.
Yeah, they use it against you, but then if you do it, they say, "Oh, will you be able to do it when you don't know what's coming?" Like it's got
to be a little. Don't be obvious.
We're not worried about the offensive coaches. Sometimes some coaches will tell you if it's a coach, coaching and trying to cover their ass, hey, because they know the script, they know the offensive script. Hey, keep it. Remember what we talked about.
Inside leverage. Inside leverage. Remember,
Absolutely.
do not give up inside leverage on this particular. What's that? Just the ball is coming fucking hot inside. These are the games of training camp in which everybody loses their mind. PUP lists are happening. Non-football injuries and illnesses are happening. Not able to pass physical is happening. Injured reserve. It's a fucking wild time, D. But what are you looking at as a whole? Derwin James, I guess, is a hold-in right now with the Chargers. He is allegedly to become the highest paid safety in the NFL. Ari Mirov at My Sports Update, a Pro Football Focus. Chargers safety Derwin James is at training camp but not practicing with the team as he waits for a new deal. Both sides have been working on it, and James will be on the field once it gets done. Expectation is James will become highest paid safety in NFL history. Every new deal that breaks whatever record is the highest in NFL history. Congrats to all the players getting rich. Tom Telesco just signed Pat White. Hey, let's go, Pat. Pat White's now coach. Fucking love Pat White. Happy. Pat White could have took our team and led our team right into Baghdad when we were in college. That's the type of leader he was, that guy. Be loved by
you would have had a fucking chance, too.
Hey, thank you. We had some dogs on that team for sure, but I'm happy Pat's getting an opportunity to kind of finish his football life how it's supposed to happen. Being a coach, Tom Telesco, awesome. Will he get the deal done with Derwin James? Highest paid in NFL history. What does he mean to that team? And how do you just think a hold-in is just like, we're close, but I'm not getting hurt before we finish it? Is that what a hold-in basically is?
That's smart, yeah. Pretty much that's what it sounds like. But it's smart. You're showing up. You're still in meetings, still in walkthroughs, which I think I'm a big walkthrough guy. And even back to that film study stuff, if you're in a walkthrough, I feel like that's more valuable sometimes in practice and definitely more valuable than watching film for most guys out there. But Derwin James, he can do everything. He can blitz, he can cover, he can tackle in space. He's a one safety that I've seen do a good job one-on-one with Travis Kelce in the league, and obviously that's going to be a divisional rival. So I think it's important that you lock him up. Him not being healthy a couple years probably has what held it up to this point. But Derwin James is unbelievable. Obviously, looking forward to Lamar getting paid as well. Obviously the 160 guaranteed to Kyler, and you got 230 to Deshaun. I feel like he'll probably fall somewhere in between that. I give him 4 years, $200 million right now, fully guaranteed. That way he kind of fall. You're not giving him 230. He's going to be highest paid annually, so you can say that as an agent. You can say that when it comes on TV and the deal comes across the bottom of the screen, and then you're locked up to a guy who's obviously phenomenal at the position and only wins. Just got to get better in the playoffs.
And Lamar can, he's his agent, I think, but he can also get another bite at the apple 4 years from now.
Yeah,
so
at least.
It's just good news for everybody. Maybe that'll be what they do before training camp ends. Maybe not. We'll keep an eye on Derwin James and all the other situations brewing. We appreciate the hell out of you, Darius.
Appreciate y'all, man. See you soon.
Hey, wear your jersey next time we see you.
Come on.
You know what? I will.
Hell yeah.
I will. Shit, it's fair game now. That's what we do.
Pat, you can wear this one too, the Steelers one.
Boys.
I'm going to get a new truck, too.
All right. Darius Butler, thank you.
Yeah, let's go.
I hope Darius doesn't do that.
What do you mean? You got to do it too now.
No, because I right now have the ability to say a lot of things. Like, I've kicked off a Super Bowl. I've gotten a chance to wrestle at WrestleMania.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I have no friends that have ever worn their own jerseys in public. Like, that is...
Start thinking about it.
What if you came out at fucking SummerSlam in your fucking Colts jersey.
Oh. What if that
Full
was
uniform.
pitched to me before by somebody that didn't have enough power to be pitching said thing, but thought it was a brilliant idea?
Man, what if that person got fired immediately after they bitched to you?
They did not. I did not let anybody know that person. I actually told them, I'm not going to tell anybody that you said that. All right? Thank you, though. Have a good one.
Football pants, too?
Yes.
Really?
Hey, what if you wrestle though? What if you wrestle in
Why would
Indianapolis?
Cole recommend that?
It wasn't Michael Cole. It was honestly somebody that I'd never really worked with before. They came up and they're like, I was thinking the other day about you. I'm like, oh, this is very nice. This person, I did not know we had this relationship, you know? He said, I think you should, because you're obviously wearing your uniform, right? Is what he said. And I said, for what?
Excuse me?
You know, he's like, WrestleMania or whatever. He's a writer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what's the uniform? You know, is it like tank top you're thinking? Like my black tank top? He goes, no, your football uniform, right? You're obviously wearing your football uniform.
Shoulder pads?
We're going to be the Cowboys thing. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, I think you should add like maybe some things on the shoulders and like some other stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to tell anybody you ever said this. And I think that's good for you. Not for me. I'm not sure I'm doing that. Oh, all right, yeah, just, you know, throw it. If you have any ideas, let me know. All right, I will. I will let you know.
Wow, that guy's a fucking genius.
I'm not sure where that person works now. It was not on SmackDown. It was my first
At
time.
least walk with your helmet. At least carry your helmet down the ramp.
He's working for Broncos fucking social media, probably.
Oh,
Possible.
probably.
Hey, wear a Vrabel jersey on your way in. You're in Tennessee?
Yeah, Patriots Vrabel jersey.
No, I can't do that. It's
Well,
Tennessee. Hour 3's on the other side. All right, we just did it. Hard out. I was going to get to a break before the hard out, but we just kept talking there and then thought about the person pitched me a full football uniform for WrestleMania.
That's on me.
Could you imagine I come out with fucking socks all the way up?
That would be
NFL regulated
awesome.
uniform.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Full NFL regulation, socks all the way up. Let's not see any of the ankles. No spat. The
No
whole
way.
thing.
If you could
Glove.
find like the old Morton Anderson
one bar.
yeah, the one bar.
Flip it up. Flip it down. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Oh, that would have been sick.
I was like, I don't think you know me at all. I don't think you've ever met me.
Damn.
Or anybody.
Next year, got to make that happen.
The internet, before we talked about this, maybe. The internet in LA, yeah, me walking out in LA in WrestleMania. What's going on? This is my name.
Right here. Number one.
Sorry about it. None of those fuckers will know me out in LA. I don't care. But, like, the internet was just completely okay with Russ wearing his own jersey.
Yeah.
It's Russ.
Boom.
That's right.
And that's kind of how I viewed it, too. I was like, yeah, it's Russ.
Yeah.
And then
He can do what he wants.
Then I started thinking to myself, has anybody that I've ever met ever in the history of anything ever worn their jersey in public, not at an event? And I tried to rack my brain there for a while, and I just couldn't find anybody. And now I guess I got two guys, because you're going to do it, AJ, and D-But's going to do it, which is good news. So maybe Russell Wilson started a cool trend here.
I mean, he is a trendsetter. Have you guys seen a lot of the colleges doing their like promo stuff for the video board are doing Let's Ride with all their quarterbacks? Multiple schools.
I saw North Texas do it.
That's what Broncos' fucking social media team does.
Exactly. That's
they
what's
win
supposed to-
Webbies.
What?
They influence others. They're inspirations.
What?
I wonder how many well, I've heard from at least one social media team that has told me, it's not the Colts, by the way, another social media team, because anytime I say anything, everybody automatically assumes it comes from the Colts. I am lucky to know people from around the entire NFL at this point. Very thankful for that. It's a cool league to have friends around the league for. They said that their social media meeting actually has like a portion of it. If any media has talked about anything that they've done, and our name is actually in has Pat McAfee Show talked about any of the videos that we've done.
Nice.
So that's good. I guess we're inspiring too. And I asked the follow-up, like, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Like, because normally when we're talking, Carolina Panthers draft video,
Awesome.
great. Chargers, normally
Great.
Awesome. Crush.
awesome. Some other places, normally pretty good. But it feels like a majority of the time, we're more so going, what the fuck is this?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that kind of our thing?
I mean,
Yeah,
the
well.
Dolphins most recently.
Denver.
Hey, wait till you get a look at the fucking Notre Dame
Oh,
jersey
don't you dare.
reveal video.
Don't
Man,
you
that
dare.
is going to win a
People need to stop acting like that's good
I didn't
or
see
it's
it, but-
funny or it would. I mean,
Oh, it's another one of those?
It's, gonna
No,
win,
it's
it's
worse.
probably going to win an Oscar.
It's like the
Next
Hangover,
level.
right?
I don't think I've seen
Yeah,
it.
it is.
Yeah, it's a remake.
I saw a thumbnail.
We'll watch it next hour. I got to get
About
to the
4.5
bathroom. I got
minutes.
to piss so bad.
4.5 minutes.
We'll be back in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes for hour 3. We have Kamaru Usman joining us at the UFC, obviously welterweight champion. He's fighting August. Can't wait to see August 20th. Can't wait to chat with him again. Andrew Brant will join us to chat contracts and so much more. You all are the best people on earth. We'll see you in about 5 minutes. Goodbye. Definitely needed for baseball. Terrible for baseball.
Terrible.
Come on!
Wow. What's the biggest issue?
Well, number one, so there's different, like, the box that is put on the screen is just not right, in my opinion.
Oh,
like,
come. I see it every time. It's always right. When I look at it, it's always right. Yeah,
but
it is.
But the other thing is, so the box that they put on the screen isn't the same box that, like, the umpires look at after the game and how they get scored. So it's like there's a lot of, like, moving pieces. And if you were to ask, like, there's not the definition of, like, what a strike is hasn't changed since, like, the beginning of time. So until there's, like, a clear definition on what a strike actually is, I feel like you can't make it some type of, like, robotic, like, oh, it hit the line, so technically it's a strike. Whereas, and then the other thing too is they completely.
Isn't that what it is? I mean, I don't fucking even know baseball. Isn't that what we're trying to do?
Completely devalues, like, the ability that catchers have. You know, like, catchers, there's such an added value to guys that can frame or that can, we call it, like, presenting. Like, can they present the pitch to an umpire to, like, get the best view possible? It's not necessarily about making it look like a strike. It's about giving the umpire the best view possible to be able to see if it was a ball or a strike.
Does your union come to you, or is there any talk about that? Like, do they try to float that out there? They do want to replace the umps with robots?
I know it's definitely something that I feel like MLB wants to do, probably because it just makes the game more, less human error, more analytic-y. But I'm off that. Like, this is a human game, man. Like, this is the most human game that there is. Like, sports is like the true reality TV, and baseball is like, any given night, anybody can beat anybody, whether it's the best team in the league or the worst team in the league. Anybody can beat anybody just because there's so many variables that go into it. And as soon as you start getting rid of those variables, I feel like you start losing, like, the nature of what our game was created to do in the first place.
Wow. Hey, that was a deep speech right there.
Hey, if you want to play that back some other time, you can.
We will. Hey, we'll run that as a commercial. We'll remind people that those words came out in the fashion in which they did out of your mouth.
It really comes down to, and pardon my French, but giving less fucks. I think that it's a maturity that comes from aging, from making mistakes, from failing, from being too sensitive at times, from taking things too personal at times. And it's about growth and learning not to be indifferent, because I think indifferent people are terrified of making choices, and it's a cold place to live. It's about choosing what to care about, and the things that you do care about, it's less things. It's not trying to be a part of every conversation or get involved in everything or setting yourself up to be offended about certain things. It's caring more about specific things and less things, and with those things, it's finding ways to solve the problems, because true happiness doesn't come from eliminating all problems in your life. I believe it comes from solving the problems that you have and dealing with the pain and the suffering that is natural in life and is a part of life. It's not fleeing from pain and suffering and running from those things and not dealing with the emotions of situations. It's looking at those head on and saying, how can I solve these problems and make my life a little bit better? And that's what I've tried to do the last couple of years. And I've talked about in this show as well. It's about perspective. And I truly believe this, when you focus on the things that you have more than the things that you don't have, you allow yourself to let gratitude sink in. And when the gratitude sinks in, it is always accompanied by joy, because you're focusing on the blessings that you have, not on the things that you don't have, the things you wish you had, the way you wish your life was that much better, you wish you had this, you wish you had that. You'll always be unsatisfied. But when you take solace in the fact that you're where you're supposed to be, and that life is going to come at you with pain and suffering and failure and frustrations and mistakes. And just trying to solve those problems and do a little bit better next time allows you to, I think, be a little gentler with yourself and admit that you're a human. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to please everybody. There's always going to be a 500-pound elephant of possibly hatred and malice waiting for you, whatever decision you make, and that's just part of life. You got to deal with it and just try and be better the next time.
So you feel freer, it feels like, huh? You kind of feel free.
Yeah, there's a liberation that comes from caring less about the things that don't really matter in this life, I think. And I will say, if anything, and I know the two of you is the best on this show, and so I won't speak for the other boys, but I'm sure they're very similar. There's a lot of joy in being unapologetically yourself. And I think in life we respect people the most often who are that way, who don't try and change or be different or grow meek in situations that require courage, that go quiet in situations that require communication. And that's what I appreciated in both your friendships, is that you guys have always been yourselves. And Pat, I haven't known you as long as I've known AJ. I sat next to AJ for 9 years, and I had so much love for him and appreciation for the friend that he is. But I always admired and was inspired by the fact that AJ was always himself. And he believed that who he was exactly who he was supposed to be. And he didn't have to be different or put on a face for anybody. He was unabashedly himself. And I think there's a lot to be, gained from doing it that way. And what I love about you and the boys is that's who you are. You guys show up every single day, not with an agenda, with an open mind, and great conversations around important topics. And then you just be yourselves.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. It is a glorious Wednesday, July 27th, 2022, because training camps are back and we're days away from SummerSlam. Hour 3 starts right now.
Let's ride.
Let's Ride has captivated the entire internet and every college football program. I just saw a guy who I believe is going to be the starter for the West Virginia Mountaineers doing it in his video shoot for the stadium. Excited to see how it all ends up.
Let's go.
You got to be excited. I mean, grinning ear to ear after seeing that, right?
Holy shit, Heisman.
What are you thinking, Meineke Car Care Bowl, maybe?
Yeah.
You shut your mouth.
Whoa.
No,
I'm Meineke Car Care Bowl champion.
That's right.
Yeah, Belt
maybe even
Bowl,
a Gator
maybe.
Bowl.
Mayo Bowl.
Are they serious or are they
Mayo
mocking
Bowl?
it?
Ooh.
Well, I think that's
Cheez-It
the
Bowl?
thing. I think that's what we asked. Not the Cheez-It Bowl.
Cheese Bowl would be. I mean,
that's
JT
one of the
did-
worst experiences I've ever had in my entire
Yeah,
life.
but you could tell. I mean, that West Virginia Mountaineers team probably loves Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Get them in that bowl.
Anyway, it's not just West Virginia. It's a lot of other teams are doing it as well.
Sure.
And I wonder if the Denver Broncos social media, they're taking this as a win, right?
Look what we did.
Yeah, flat. You got to be flattery. What is it?
Imitation
What's
is
the
the
old
greatest
saying?
form
Imitation
of
is the greatest form of
flattery.
flattery.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Like Tim Kirchin.
Well, I don't know if Tim's taking it the way that we.
Oh, Tim loves it.
Yeah.
What's his problem?
Yeah, I literally was showing that WVU video just a second before we went live, and I actually tweeted, "Is this our starter to the WVU football program as a whole?" Is that JT Daniels that I saw doing that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
believe so.
yeah. Stud.
Dude's a dog.
Graham
Graham
Harrell's
coached him
gonna
at
take
USC.
him. Yeah.
Graham Harrell ain't doing the fucking Let's Ride. I can bet.
What?
I know he ain't doing the whole song and dance, but I like that the West Virginia football social media team's getting active.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Built for success with that kid behind the helm.
Let's just find better mentors. West Virginia football. Carolina Panthers, the Chargers.
Uh-huh.
A lot of teams do well here in the NFL. Let's look after them, see what they're doing, as opposed to the behind the scenes Let's Ride videos. Just hey,
There it is.
unsolicited advice and unwarranted ask from me.
I mean,
This
I don't
guy's
know.
got moxie, though.
Yeah, I don't know
This is
why
awesome.
you'd be pissed about them doing.
I'd have a beer with this
You
guy.
can have many beers with this guy.
Yeah, and a few other things.
It's not his fault.
He kind of looks like the kid from Kicking and Screaming, the Will Ferrell soccer
All right.
film.
Do you have a unibrow?
Yeah, he
This is
has a
not his
sweet-
fault. That was not his fault.
No.
I don't like people potentially having negative thoughts towards him while they're watching that video. I don't like that, West Virginia Mountaineers are thinking, this guy stinks because that wasn't him. Somebody else told him to do that. Let's remember that. JT Daniels ain't wearing his fucking West Virginia jersey around Morgantown.
Well, they need to shit can Neil Bryan if he's the one.
What?
If he's the one. Hey, JT, it'd be funny if you did the let's
Let's
ride
ride.
thing.
Neil
I think
Bryan?
it's great. People love it.
We need Graham Harrell's thoughts. That's what we need.
All right, we need to move on. I mean, honestly, that should not have been shoved in my face right before we went live for Hour 3 on this glorious Wednesday, July 27th. I understand that your life stinks because of the Notre Dame video. I don't need you coming after me with the West Virginia video that just hit the internet, okay?
Don't watch that one.
News coming out of Dallas. Jerry Jones had to apologize to a community of people. That is obviously, good sign that Jerry's... back. It feels like he did offend a large portion of people, and they came out and said, "Excuse me, we don't say that word anymore."
No,
we learned this years ago via introduction, and I think honestly, I feel like ignorance is the cause of a lot of miscommunication and definite disrespect. I think if you're never introduced to somebody from a community and hear why person from community potentially gets pissed off about something, you never really understand or never even really go about caring to think about it. So you just kind of go on, We had an opportunity to meet a little person, and I'm not going to out any names in the office, but somebody obviously let one fly.
Whoa.
And it was a full thing. It was a full conversation. And now Jerry Jones and the rest of the world is realizing this at the same time. I think a lot of people are learning this at the same time as Jerry Jones. And I'm hoping bygones can be bygones. We can learn from it and move forward. Now, follow up. He did say, Mike McCarthy, I believe, can win a fucking Super Bowl. Right after the media said, hey, you think you're a coach of this team next year before the season has even started? Kind of like what Kwesi did to Kirk Cousins, but it was media asking Mike McCarthy. We didn't get that whole answer, and obviously we didn't get Mike McCarthy's real feelings, and I would like him to maybe open up one time and just talk about it all. He kind of did, because he was complimented with his new body, and he said he picked up a boxing workout that has put him in better shape than he's ever been, and sometimes I think of you guys while I'm fucking going in there. So thanks for the motivation, Mike McCarthy says.
Is he taping up pictures of different media members' faces on the heavy bag?
So when they're running mitts, it's just like who's the fuck that brought up Sean Payton? Put him on the 1-2 side.
You got to post this video.
Yeah, put him on the right side. Yeah, Mike McCarthy.
Oh,
what is it? What is it, AJ? What is Mike McCarthy's fighting style?
What do you mean?
Are you setting your chin out there? Is that what is what is Mike McCarthy's motivation when he get into a street fight? Isn't there something that maybe he has said in a team meeting or anything like that before?
Well, he's I don't know exactly what you mean, but he's referenced a lot of Pittsburgh boxers that come from there and the grit and toughness they have. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought he gave a speech about whenever you're backed up against the wall,
in the corner,
and you got to fight what you got to do. I thought maybe Mike McCarthy did that just because of the image I have of him behind closed doors is just Yinzer football meathead. Yeah. Being a head coach of some of the most storied franchises in NFL history, and I fucking love it, to be honest. I'm going to let you know that.
We need to get him in an Oculus. I mean, we got to see what those mitts are going to do against, Moneymaker or maybe the champ,
He doesn't want to get in there, just like this fucking guy quit.
Chris Moneymaker? Who are you talking about?
Matt is his name.
Come on.
He's the chomp. He's the champion. Chris Moneymaker, though, he
also
had a hell of a run as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's a champion. Has a good bracelet. Great bracelet that guy has. Tone Diggs, you're about to pipe in with something there. Do you like Mike McCarthy's style of coaching? Do you like how he is as a human? And do you think ultimately it ends up with him winning a Super Bowl in Dallas for the Cowboys, which hasn't happened since 1995?
Yeah, five when Neil O'Donnell was paid by the mob to throw 2 interceptions.
Not a good look for the Irish. I mean, that was a real conversation around Pittsburgh for, I don't know, 10, 15 years afterwards, every single day.
To be honest, I was trying to think of Pittsburgh boxers that Mike could have been referencing, and I thought of Paul Spatafora, but he
Billy Conn.
Billy Conn was yes, obviously a great one as well.
Anywhere Italians are, normally good boxing promotions are.
Boom Boom Mancini up there in Youngstown.
Yes.
Sure.
Exactly. Any place that has Italians is normally going to have pretty good boxing, I believe.
Sure.
I think that's just through my
Is that because of Rocky?
Well, I think it's blue collar. I think
Marciano.
the build up of it and the whole thing. I think it is a pretty. I think the Italians are pretty deep into the boxing world.
They absolutely were. But as far as the Mike McCarthy winning the Super Bowl, I'm actually pretty down on the Cowboys this year. So probably I don't think this year.
What? It's not all about because Jerry Jones offended the community.
Well, they used to. The strong point obviously was their offensive line, which they've lost some of those guys. Their weapons, they lost Amari Cooper. Gallup's coming off an ACL injury. They didn't really replace those guys. Zeke does look healthy, and they had an opportunistic defense. Can they do that again? I'm down on the Cowboys. I'll say it.
AJ,
I'm here.
You still picking the Cowboys to win a fucking Super Bowl like you did?
Good
What was that,
question.
2 years ago? You
Yeah.
said Cowboys going to smoke the Packers. Remember that?
He did say that.
Then he had to
Never said that. Yeah, you did.
Kinda. Didn't you?
Just because they're in the NFC doesn't mean that they beat the Packers head up, to get there.
Oh, you're saying different roads. Packers had to. They played
lost
somebody
to someone
else.
else.
You kind of said it though without saying it, and Aaron took it that way too. By the way, it's been brought up multiple times now in conversations and that whole thing. But do you think this is the year Mike McCarthy and those Cowboys come together? Not a lot of distractions. They are new pieces. We'll call them new pieces as opposed to losing a bunch of people. It's next man up mentality in the NFL. Everybody's good football players, but a lot of new pieces. They were very opportunistic last year on the defense side of the ball. Diggs was an absolute stud, but if a couple of those go the other way and the offense isn't getting the ball as much, do you have faith in the Cowboys this year? I love Dak. I fucking love Dak, and I like Mike McCarthy. So that just gives me they'll be able to figure it out. Do you think they're going to go, AJ?
I don't know if they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Expectations for the Cowboys are always sky high, but this year I think they're flying under the radar a little bit. That may help them, I think, early on in the season.
Yeah, nobody's really talking about him. I saw a picture of Dak running by something. It might have been on ESPN last night. I'm like, you know what? Cowboys hype train is not.
No.
It is not this year. This is the first year that we've done this show that it hasn't been a Cowboys hype train, right?
They're still favored to win the division, but yeah, the hype is definitely down.
Just wait till they get in their first full team brawl, though, with whoever they practice against. They're always good for one of those, it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like the Cowboys, big stars, big attitudes, big personalities, big brawls if they have to have it, throw some fists, throw some hands. Is it because the executives at a lot of these networks are the ones that say, hey,
mixing it up.
LeBron James, Dallas Cowboys, Tim Tebow.
Right.
If Russell Wilson wears his own jersey, Russell Wilson.
Of course.
And then guess what? Maybe a little bit of news happening around. And right after that, guess what? Back to the fucking top. LeBron James, Dallas Cowboys, Tim Tebow, Russell Wilson, maybe some news. Back to the fucking top for the next, 4 years straight. That is basically what network television was. We were told that by somebody when we got signed to a radio network. We're like, here's some things that we like to keep in our programming every 15 minutes. Need these to be recycled around. And it was like, need the Dallas Cowboys. If you're going to talk about the NFL, every 12, 13 minutes. Listening cycles are about 10 to 14 minutes in the radio. Need them. You can go to the Cowboys basically 4 times an hour if you want. And I said, okay, yeah. We tried it one day. And so, I can't fucking do that. I'm so sorry. But they were right. Everything we did with the Cowboys, though, big numbers. This year, it doesn't feel like that's the case at all. TV, radio, anything really, right?
I think it's kind of this. It's been this way for the last couple of years, but that division is just so shitty. Like, the Eagles are supposed to be, much better this year. They got a lot of guys, but the Giants have been bad for such a long time. The Commanders, the football team, whatever you want to call them, they've been so bad. And then we've, the AFC East now, they're kind of stealing some of those headlines because multiple teams did a bunch of stuff and they're looking better. That division just really isn't that interesting anymore.
Well, dogs.
Yeah, it feels like the dogs in Philly are getting all the attention because of the moves they made, whereas Dallas didn't really make any moves aside from re-sign some of their guys, right?
Did you see Jerry walking up that press conference yesterday?
He's the man.
Yeah, he's the best.
Gave a point and a fist bump. You know what I mean?
How old is he now?
70 what?
3?
73?
4?
Are his sons going to be able to keep that same moxie whenever Jerry's not running the
79.
team?
Motherfucker's 79 years old.
Jeez.
Would have never known.
It's going to be 80 this season.
I'm sorry. I apologize to you. I grew up much different.
Time.
Jesus, I am so sorry. What do I got to apologize for? Sit down, Jerry. It's first day of training camp. It's better be fucking good. You see the word you used, which you might have used in the past. Don't use it anymore.
Can't do that.
What word? Boom, said it. What am I supposed to say? Little people.
Oh.
And then they had they had a little person come in and sit Jerry down. And be like, hey, this is why. Well, let me tell you why. And Jerry, fuck, shit. Where is a statement that I can... I am so sorry.
Well, even his apology, though, he's like, I guess I may have offended some people.
No. You read that?
Yeah, kind of.
No.
Listen, I guess I may have offended some people, and for that, I'm sorry.
No, you did not. That is not how
That's how I took it.
That is Jerry Jones apologizes for a derogatory term for little people. Earlier today, I made a reference which I understand may have been viewed as offensive. I apologize.
So he's saying there was no ill will, like no ill intent behind his statement.
Yeah, and I think, by the way, intentions of people's words should also be taken into account a lot more. And also, I think this is like a great... He's 79 years old, and he learned something today, and he grew. Like, I think that is a good thing about society. Like, and I think we should continue to do such a thing. Like, hey, some motherfuckers who are 79 years old might have never in their life, even if you're a bazillionaire and been around the world 10 times, had any interaction that led them to believe they should. And I'm not saying every word. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about situations that have been arising in our society. It feels like as of late, with more knowledge and learning more about people and hearing people's voices a lot more, because there's an ability to do so with social medias and platforms and everything like that. But I'm at Jerry Jones will never do it again. Jerry Jones, fucking yesterday I learned he's telling his old friends, right? And his old friends are probably mocking it at the beginning. And then Jerry's just like, yeah, but there's no reason for us to fucking piss off a bunch of people. Let's just move on. That's good. This is a good thing in society, I think, what is happening here.
You know, the PR team was sitting there watching his press conference going, this is going great. This is a great story. Oh, fuck. Did Jerry just...
Did he just...
Yeah.
They're muting the mics.
Oh,
Did he just...
That's probably every time he's on camera, they're doing that. They're just sitting there. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
This is like the Colts PR waiting for another Jim Irsay tweet. Back in the day when Jim Irsay hopped on Twitter, I was so happy. I was so pumped. I'm like, because I love Twitter. I was on Twitter a lot. Then he automatically comes on Twitter. I think I was one of the first people he followed. So me and Jim Irsay had a relationship like very early in the entire thing. We would actually chat about Twitter whenever he would come to practice and speak to me. This is all after I got arrested. He came and talked to me like basically every single time he came down. It was an honor. Then I would read some of his tweets like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I'm like, this motherfucker's tweeting just like me. But his are like just very, very deep. And then like you talk to fourth in command PR person. And I'm like, man, Jim might be the fucking best Twitter follower on earth. For who?
Yeah. Sure.
For who? It's like, for everybody on Twitter, what are you talking? Guy gave away fucking 15 grand. Guy gave away 15 grand last night for figuring out a riddle that he was piecing together. We just sit there and just have notifications on our phone and be like, all right, how's this going? And then he slowed down for a bit. He's gotten back into it, and I'm thankful for it because the PR people now, I think, can handle it. You know, Conti's fucking ass.
Right.
Conti can handle anything.
Oh,
Of course.
That Bison fucking good at what he does. But I assume there's a little bit of when a notification pops up from Jim Irsay, whatever it is. I like it that he's out there. I like he's fucking doing it.
He's the only one, too, out of the owners, right? There's no other owner that's actively
Woody
tweeting.
Johnson is on Instagram. I follow him. He was good there for like a week during draft time.
He doesn't even live here, though. Doesn't he live over in Europe somewhere?
Does he?
He's like an ambassador to something, I feel like, overseas somewhere.
Oh, like Dan Rooney.
He was.
I will say
don't know if he still is.
I will say his Instagram fucking stinks. It was good for like
I would
a
imagine
week.
it would.
No, for like a week.
What's he posting?
Well, he had like Sauce Gardner stuff whenever they drafted him behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, cool.
It was like very at his desk. I think he was like maybe putting something in, doing something, and being like, "This is how owner." Like, I think that is a good angle for content. Like, if Jim Irsay's people, were able to talk Jim into wanting to give away like when he does NFL business as well, not just the fucking cool shit that he does.
Yeah.
Whenever you like give a little behind the scenes, like that would be a great piece of content, I think, for an owner that would want to dabble. So Woody was in there for a little bit. And then, Jim Irsay does it. Cuban does it for the NBA. He's obviously very active.
Woody was an ambassador to the UK, but he's no longer an ambassador to the UK anymore.
Now he's an influencer. He's an ambassador for Instagram. And I'm just saying he needs to pick his shit up there because he had like a good week and a half, 2 weeks where I followed him. And I'm like, oh, we got an owner who is making content. This is awesome.
Yeah, the standard has changed because of Jim Irsay and the tweets that he has and the giveaways he does.
Jim Irsay is a musician, an artist who just so happens to love football and be from a family that owned a football team. Yeah. Whenever he's speaking, the delivery might be a little bit different than what you're hearing, but the words are telling a story that are very, very, very good. and should listen.
He was getting the boys fired up at training camp last night. Kicks it off every year, 51 years.
Crazy.
Fucking right.
It's a long time.
He used to get us into practice. We'd all come in for a huddle, and Chuck would always be extra chipper. Whenever it's like, all right, everybody, fucking in. All right, here we go. Listen, because Jim's speaking. In his golf cart, he would drive around a golf cart, and that thing would either make its way towards the huddle, and it's like, all right, Jim's giving a speech today, or that thing's going in the parking lot. And it's like, all right, no speech from Jim Irsay today. So whenever he would give a speech, it always started like kind of, like you guys like that, and then you see Jim like get comfortable and start like telling stories, and always ends with hell yeah, all right. And then break it up in the middle of it. It's like, I think the more owners can get involved, the better for all parties. Joining us now is a man who has a fight on August 20th for the welterweight championship, in which he is the owner of. The last time he was on this show, the power went out because of how electrifying he was while describing his walk to the octagon. He'll be fighting a man who's younger than him and taller than him August 20th, but I don't think anybody is betting against our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamaru Usman. Yeah! What's up, man?
Thanks, Pat. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I love how you stand up, too, when you when you introduce me. I love it.
Well, I get excited, because some people get small in that moment. I become a giant, whenever I'm going to talk on you.
I see.
Hey, that promo
I see what you did there.
Yeah, the promo you cut on this show was one of the greatest fucking things I've ever heard, describing your mentality and your emotions while walking to a cage. It was so good. It literally shut down power in this whole block. So we apologize for that the last time.
Oh no, it's all good. I'm just I'm happy for you guys. I'm glad your building didn't burn down. With that fire.
Could you imagine if we did? Oh, could you
thought it was
imagine?
gonna happen?
Smoke coming
It was a
through.
little scary. I mean, we got a little high off the cooking of the electronics that were on fire right here about 10 feet away, but we're happy you're back. You're in the middle of camp right now. How far into camp are we? Are you always in shape? Is there any drastic changes? And how does the body feel right now, champ?
Well, for lack of better words, I would say we're probably balls deep in the camp right now.
Oh, yeah.
And we're deep in there. And we've got a couple of weeks at August 20th, so that's less than 4 weeks away. At this point, the body is today I really felt it. I'm glad you asked that. Today my body really felt like shit. Let's get this over with. It's about time to go scrap and go home and eat some food.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, I've heard you talk about how much like knee pain and knee issues you have that you a lot of times aren't even able to run before fights. Is it still that way, or do you see it ever? Is there anything you can do to make that feel a little bit better?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to say, last time we didn't get to really interact as much. Pat was stealing all the questions, and he's still all the time. But I'll say I want to. Obviously, hopefully you get to ask a lot more questions this time, Pat.
Oh, jeez.
Relax.
Was it a bad interview, Kamar? You're welcome. Jeez.
No, it wasn't bad. It was a great interview. Great. That just goes to test of the greatness that's on this show. So, I see all the greatness that's here. But to answer your question, no, the knees are feeling a lot better. I've got some really good PTs, physical therapists that are doing some different exercises now that's really starting to open up some of the things in that joint to where I'm able to use both my legs now. I'm still not running. We can just, that's for the birds. I'm done with that. If I could still get the conditioning that I need in order to stay at the top and not necessarily have to run, I love it. But right now we're trying some different methods on the physical therapy, and my knee's doing a lot better. So those knee pains are a lot less severe now.
I don't know how many questions AJ is going to get, but I do know he has two bad knees, as do I. You're looking at this is a bad knee crew here. What do you do instead of running? Because running is a nightmare. Running downhill, biggest nightmare of all time. What do you do instead to keep the cardio up? Is it just fighting?
Yeah, I would say mainly fighting, but everything that I do as far as training, we try to implement some way to where I'm able to get my body into that red zone. So a lot of people, they think shape is just going outside and running, and as long as I can run a mile in such a good time, I'm in shape. No, that's not necessarily true. For what we do, shape is based on how you can grapple, stand up, throw punches, and get back into grappling, how you are able to recover in the midst of those transitions. That's really where that shape is. You know, old timers, when your grandpa walks by you and he wants to show you that he still got it and he used to wrestle. That's what Pat just did, that movement right there.
Boom!
Hey, are you really going to go up to 205? You going to skip 185 and just go up there to 205 and dominate everybody? Is that the plan?
You know, it's crazy that people think that I'm joking when I said this. They really think that I'm joking. At the end of the day, one of the biggest things and one of the biggest quotes that I live by, and that's because I know it, I felt it myself. Fatigue makes cowards of everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. And so you could be at 205. Let's just say those guys are going to fatigue a lot faster than I will. And so, yeah, I definitely think I can hang with those guys. Now, let's be clear. Let's be honest. I'm not saying I'm going to run through everybody in the light heavyweight division. That's not true. That's not what I'm saying. I just feel that I just feel like the top 2, top 3 guys that's at the top of that division, I feel like I can beat.
So you can run
You're
through
running through
everybody.
everybody.
That's what I think. I mean,
And then you go on to heavyweight after that.
I'd recline.
Yeah. No. I'm good on that.
What's everyday weight? What's everyday weight that you walk around at?
Right now, I've kind of got it down to where I'm staying around that 190. Some days I float below the 190, but I like to stay around that 190 because that's the good weight, my good threshold to where I still have a little bit of fat on me that I need to be able to get through those tough cardiovascular training days. So I've got some fats and I'm still high in muscle, but here in the next couple of weeks, we'll start to kind of get that off to where we make that cut right down to 170.
Isn't that like the biggest advantage though? Weight. That's why there is weight classes. Like going to 205 would be a massive jump for you, wouldn't it? Is there? You're just saying your body could handle the weight, and you think you'd be very comfortable up there because the guy you're fighting, for instance, Mr. Edwards here, he's taller than you and he's younger than you. But weight-wise, same. Isn't the weight the biggest thing? And that's why when you see some smaller fighters go up a level, they get bullied almost. That isn't something you think your body is meant to be heavier, and you don't think that'll be a bigger difference at all?
No, weight does make a difference. Let's be honest, because it's different when I'm if it's 170 pounds behind a straight right to the face. That's a lot different than 205 pounds behind that straight right to the face. So weight does make a difference. But at this level, it becomes a systematic approach. If I'm able to wear you out without taking that 230 pounds behind that punch to my face, and I'm able to wear you out, that 230 pounds is going to feel like 140 pounds. By the time we get into the later rounds. So, it's going to be a strategic. Of course, I'm not just going to go in there and try to just bang it out with the light heavyweight. No, pause. But I'm going to systematically go in there, and that's where me and my coaches are really going to have to put our brains together and come up with the master plan to be able to wear these guys out. But one of the biggest things that I want to show is, a lot of people say, oh, pound for pound. That's like they're just basically saying, okay, we think that if you were at that weight, you could potentially do something. Well, guess what? I want to show you that. I don't necessarily have to be at that weight. I can go up there and still dominate because I am the pound for pound champion. No one's ever done it. And I think that'll be a good stamp to put down on this sport by the time I walk away from it.
Obviously, you have a massive fight coming up, but it seems like you have thought about this pretty well. What time frame would that be, you think, to make that move? And is that a decision that you can make by yourself, or does Dana obviously have to come involved in that conversation? And how would the process shape there, being the champ at one class and then saying, I'm going to jump up 35 pounds? I mean, that's a big jump. Like, how does that whole thing work?
Yeah, It's a joint decision, so it's my decision and Dana as well, because I have to go to them and say, hey, Dana, that's what I want next. But it's one of those things that, like, of course I'm fighting Leon Edwards next, but I recognize that I'm fighting Leon Edwards. I don't take anything away from him. I know this is a tough one, and I'm fully focused on Leon Edwards. But at the same time, my life and my career, where I am now, has been a whole thought-out process. Has been a manifestation of of what I've kind of put into place and what I've thought about in my head. So I think it, and I say I'm going to do it. Chances are, given the opportunity, I'm going to do it.
Let's go! Hell yeah. I love that. You know, when I was punting balls for a living, if I had any thoughts other than punting balls, people are like, you should focus on punting balls. So you giving the whole, like, hey, I got a lot of respect for Leon Edwards. Okay, I'm training my fucking ass off. Let's not act. But there is moments in life where you get to think about things other than just one particular fight. I think we'd all be very excited to see you go improve that pound for pound badassness. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Kamaru, last time you were on the show, you mentioned how, you know, like the amount of stress and pressure you get when you've defended the title so many times. But when you start thinking about moving up, is that motivated by the fact that, like, you've cleaned out that division? Like, there really isn't anything else for you to prove. Like, would that be something where you would still bounce in between and go back and defend that? Or would you just, if you do move, would you vacate the title and just go kind of focus on light heavyweight?
I would absolutely. The craziest thing I think is to be able to bounce back and forth, and with the weight class in between, you're skipping over that weight class. I don't think anyone has ever done that, and I don't think anyone will for a long time. So if I'm given that opportunity, I 100% would like to do it. I think right now there's really no clear-cut number one contender in that welterweight division coming up next. So I would say, of course, if I'm able to get through Leon Edwards and then bounce up to 205 and get that strap, that'd be enough time for these guys to figure out, you know, what they're doing here in that welterweight, for someone to be able to step up to show that they're the real number one contender for me to come back down. Because it's got to be worth my time now. Time is money. I'm not getting any younger, so it's got to be worth my time.
I know you beat Leon back, 2015. Does that have any impact on this fight?
Technically, no. And I said this before. Leon Edwards is saying, oh, he just watched the fight and this and that. And he sees that, you know, he's gotten better technically in certain spots. And I've also gotten better in certain spots. But one thing that these guys don't understand is that I'm not fighting you technically. Of course, there's certain things that I need to watch out for with technically where you're good and where you're not so good. That's not necessarily how I fight guys. I fight your heart. I fight your head. I fight your heart right here. This doesn't lie. Your heart doesn't lie. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how big you are, how tough you are. This is what I'm fighting. And I know that I can break him. I've done it before, and I will do it again.
Hey, you're a dog, huh? Always been a dog? Always just, I mean, the way you just said there, I mean, technically you can work on whatever. I'm going in there to take your fucking soul, pal. Like that. Have you always had that? Has that always been something? I know you're a national champion wrestler, obviously, and you've been great as champion and almost fucking an unstoppable force, pound for pound best fighter. Have you always been just an absolute dog? And when do you think you got that?
It's one of those things that you just kind of create it. You know, and we can all attest to that. You know, there's times when you're by yourself and you're in those fields and you're kicking balls by yourself in those fields, and you're learning where to place the ball, how to place the ball, and there's no one with you. It might not be a coach with you. It might just be you. It might just be you and the ball in the field, and you as well, just training. There's those moments to where you're just by yourself. These are moments to where you actually start to grow and build that dog. You know, you build it. I don't need a coach next to me to tell me, all right, great job. You did great there. I don't need a teammate or a friend or mom and dad to be next to me and say, great job, and clap for you. No, this is the times that you spend by yourself, putting in those work, even when it's tough, even when it's hard. That's what builds that dog. And these guys don't understand what I've been through all through my life to get to a certain point where, hey, you could be as skillful as you want to be. But when it comes down to bite down and we're both tired, you're exhausted, I'm exhausted, chances are my dog and that lion inside me is a lot bigger than theirs.
Bro, you're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I absolutely love you. I appreciate you stopping by. I wish you nothing but a continued and healthy camp and successful camp. Can't wait to watch in August, pal. You beat the hell out of a guy you've already beat, and then put on 35 pounds.
Let's go. Yep.
And just go on up and do it to somebody else. You're the best, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me back on.
Did AJ get enough fucking questions?
Jeez Louise.
Is that all right?
AJ, okay. I think we balanced it out there. Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champ, pound for pound champ, Kamaru Usman.
Hey.
Hey.
He's a monster.
Yes. Bro.
He's so tough and so good. Like, watch it. I don't know how much you've seen him fight. Like, yeah, I think he's a superstar. I don't know if he's crossed over into mainstream as much as he should, but the guy is so good.
Well, he's hilarious. He's motivating. He's inspiring. And I love just 7 years ago, he's gotten technically better. So have I. So have I. But we have also had a meeting before. And you have experienced my fucking will. And I've experienced your will. And that is really all we should be talking about. Is basically what Usman just said there. That was all, that speech you just gave about when you're alone. Because people talk about it being pillow talk whenever you're in bed all by yourself at night and it's just you and your thoughts. What are you saying to yourself? Those workouts too. When you are all by yourself, you grow. It's that was fucking incredible. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
That's what gives you confidence. Those workouts by yourself, the stuff that you're doing that nobody sees, you don't have to tell people and all of that. Like that's why you are confident stepping into that cage or doing whatever you're doing because you put the work in.
When the lights are off and nobody's watching, the work you put in there will be seen by everybody as soon as the lights come on or something. There's like 100 different cliche speeches.
Mm-hmm.
What you do in the dark will come to the light. I think a lot of people take that as a negative, but I've heard it used as motivation before for whenever you're not around anybody, what you're doing there. We will learn quickly as soon as these lights come on what you've put in, what you've invested. And that's why you put an addendum in the contract to watch 4 hours of extra film.
That's exactly right.
Let's get to a break. Speaking of that situation, we'll talk to Andrew Brant, the man who signed this dude to his first
What if
ever.
Kyler has his worst year yet this year after the 4 hour thing?
If I'm Kyler, if I'm Kyler and I'm truly committed to Call of Duty and other games, I'm potentially thinking about having my worst year yet. So then they take that thing out and I can get back to not even having to fake like I'm watching the
Sorry,
iPad.
been watching too much film lately.
Am I too smart? Man, I was much better when I didn't know what the fuck was going on anyway.
Wound up.
What's the deal? Well,
I'm a field player. I need to play by feel.
Well, you're probably overthinking it. Well, why am I overthinking it? Oh, because you guys gave me so much to fucking think about. Remember that? Put it in contract.
I mean, that's a real thing. Like you definitely don't want him overthinking. It's true.
And he is a reactionary quarterback, right?
Yeah, just want him to feel maybe more comfortable pre-snap. Like, hey, what's the defense doing? Like that's probably what they would like. He'd have a little feel on what they may be trying to do to you.
Hey, Kyler, listen, you don't need to know that what other cerebral quarterbacks know. Like if a guy's left foot is in front of his right foot, it's probably cover two. Okay, we don't need you looking at people's stances and where they line up in defensive line because you talk to like Aaron and Peyton, everybody. They say they start breaking down defense by the D line first, right? And then they go back and they can kind of tell what's going to happen. We don't need you to do all that. All we want is for you to have a fucking heads up on who's coming. That's us. Please. All right? That's all we want. We don't need anything else. You still be you. Just have a little heads up if this fucking guy's going to kill you or not. It'll make everybody's job easier. I wonder if that's what they're saying to him.
Yeah, probably. I would like to see how it went back and forth if Kyler was like, didn't want to sign that addendum. Like, did he push back at first?
I'm a gamer. They want me to knock him.
Does he have to make a burner account, though, so they don't know when he's playing online?
All right, we're back in 4 minutes with Andrew Brant. We'll ask him all these questions and more, plus your phone calls. 1-833-4-McAfee on the 5 Energy phone line. You are the best. Goodbye.
Most guys have tried different ways to last longer in bed, but thinking about how many players your team has on the PUP list doesn't always work. That's why the folks at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman Swipes.
Hell yeah.
The secret to longer lasting sex.
Hell yeah.
Roman Swipes are clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, and fast acting. But they don't require a prescription. Swipes are great. They will not transfer to your partner, so you can last longer without worrying. Go to GetRoman.com/Pat and get $10 off your first order of swipes, plus free 2-day shipping. GetRoman.com/Pat.
Welcome back. Shout out to Roman for having people have long sex, better sex.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter has added a status that you can put on top of your tweets.
No way.
So just look for mine to always say, fucking working, dude. Okay? And that's what everybody else should be doing. And Russell Wilson just has one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard in my entire life.
Of course.
The man who showed up in his own jersey to training camp yesterday in front of a sick, pimped out Dodge truck. Dodge Ram 2500 says, if somebody says you got to do X amount, I triple it.
Love it.
Let's ride. Let's do it, Russell Wilson. Joining us now is a man who's been on all angles of NFL operation. He was an executive for the Packers in which he handled contracts. He's been an agent in many different sports. He's broken down things to us that many people can't. He speaks to the dumbs as if we are not that dumb. We appreciate the big brain on this man. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Brant. What's up, pal?
How you guys doing? How you doing, Age?
Great, Andrew. Do you miss this time of year, not being with the team?
Not at all.
Players don't miss training camp either. It seems like
my life's too good. You know what was interesting, AJ, is for people like me, it was so different than the normal people. People that are agents, people that work on the business side. Once you get to this time of year, your work is largely done. Now, there are a few extensions going on in training camp. There are things like that going on. You got to worry about PUP and NFI and all that. But the bulk of the business of the NFL gets done before you even start. So I would get everyone settled in Packers camp and get everything settled, and then I'd get out of there for a few days because that's when my work was basically done.
You go on vacation, add to the status.
Wow.
I mean, unbelievable.
Put that on my status.
Yeah, I respect it. You always say there will be lawyers, and it's real. The business of sport, you are a massive voice in it. And honestly, your reels on Instagram have been fantastic, your tweets, your newsletter. We have benefited greatly from your brain and your experiences, so we do appreciate you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Have you, in all your years, ever seen an addendum that says, independently, we need you to fucking invest in this company, invest in this team, like basically everybody else at your position who's ever had success before. This Kyler Murray thing, now Dan Patrick asked Ian Rapoport who wanted this out, who leaked this information, and Ian Rapoport said he had to go through some different things, and not every contract is leaked publicly, but if you have the right sources, you can get your hands on it. The Cardinals didn't want this out. Kyler didn't want this out. Kyler's agent didn't want this out. Is this normal that we don't normally hear about, or is this setting a precedent, you think, for the future on things you just expect players to do now being written into contracts?
First thing first, I've been around the league for 35 years as an agent, a team executive with the Packers for 10 years, and now as a media analyst the last 10 years. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a clause in a contract legislating, mandating, studying the playbook. I have never seen a clause in a contract that requires homework for something that all the players do. I've never seen a clause in a contract that puts in writing a requirement to prepare for the next game opponent for what seems like a minimum of 4 hours. This is stunning. This is stunning. We have a $220-something million contract. It was framed as 46 a year like Deshaun Watson. It's not 46 a year because Watson was a 5-year deal. This is a 7-year deal. Watson had 5-year full guarantees. This is more like 3 years full guarantees, and then we'll see after that. But this was a ton of money. You can't say this is a bad deal for Murray because 36.5 a year. He's got 105 coming over the first 3. That's a good deal. But to put this in there, and $9 million of workout bonuses are in there, so he's got to be there 85-90% of workouts in the off season, which tells me and you and AJ and everyone they don't trust this guy. They don't trust him to work in the off season, in the weight room and certainly in the classroom. They have seen something over these 3 years that tells them we need to financially incentivize the off-season work, and we need to legislate and lawyer in through the contract the study clause. Never seen anything like it, Pat.
I'm happy, but there's more work for the lawyers. That's great. Go ahead, AJ.
Andrew, is there any way that, like, how would the team come back and try to get money from Kyler if they feel like he's in breach of contract and he had a video game, he was playing video games while his iPad was running, he didn't hit the controls enough? Like, how do they even figure it out?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the legal part before the monitoring. The legal part to me is this is no money. You don't get money by doing the 4 hours, and you don't lose money if you don't do the 4 hours. Here's what it is. It would be a breach if you don't put in the required independent study of 4 hours game preparation each week. What does that mean? That means future guarantees would void. So this contract has, depending on how you look at it, full versus injury, roughly $150 million total of guarantees. So the way I read this is, say we're in week 1, in 5 weeks from now, and he doesn't put in the 4 hours, he could potentially lose $150 million of guaranteed money. That's the way it reads. And again, there will be lawyers, but are you kidding me? That's in the contract? So it could void future guarantees. Now, how do they monitor it? Now, there's some Big Brother shit going on. I don't know how they're going to monitor it.
Well, there has been, by the way, with the iPads being introduced into film study, and obviously it's Microsoft Surfaces.
Yeah.
But as every human has an iPad in the NFL handed to him with the playbook on it, with the plays on it, it makes it a lot easier. I think AJ even talked about it a lot. Like, I was there during the transition into the iPad world, and although I was not this massive film study person, it was nice to be able to just fucking pop something out from practice earlier, and if you just want to look at it, and then we found out, due to one of our teammates never opening his iPad, that they were able to track said time on the iPad. And I think they're even able to track if you just hit play and let it run for 4 hours, how much action's on it. I mean, if you're Kyler and you really want to get out of this, you just pay somebody $50,000 a year to just need you to watch the film, pause, slow-mo, replay, go forward. But it's fast. Do you think this is a precedent going forward? You think a lot of teams are going to start thinking about this? And shouldn't players, like the way Ian spun it afterwards, Rapoport was like, he already does this. This is just, making sure it happens. Like, well, Kyler should have been offended then, right? Shouldn't Kyler have been offended that this is the first time that this ever happened? I don't know. Like, what do you think? How do you think it plays out for future contracts?
Yeah, I'm trying to look in the background of this. If we remember back in February or March, Eric Burkhart, who's the agent for
Hostage.
Kyler. Yeah. Eric puts out this missive on social media, if you remember. Long thing about Kyler and the Cardinals. What that told me was that Eric went right after the season and said, all right, let's go. Let's do a big extension. And they kind of said, no, we're going to wait. Just chill. We're going to wait. So he got mad, and here we go. And we got rumbles of discontent throughout the offseason, perhaps from Kyler. What's he going to do? Is he going to show up for camp? And then we see, well, all of a sudden, last week, we got a deal. And as I said, it was spun out there like a 46.1 average, and it's beating Deshaun Watson. And it's the best deal in history. You look at the fine print, it's not that on the money and the guarantee, but then you really look at the fine print, and this comes out. I know Ian said maybe it's not the team, but listen, we know it's not Burkhart and Murray. Yeah. This is not a good look for them.
No.
In terms of how it's getting out
Well,
there.
And for the Cardinals, they just paid $107 million guaranteed.
Well, I don't know if the Cardinals put it out there, but it seems like someone put it out there to say, hey, this contract's not as good as you think.
Oh, got it.
And this is some weird stuff in there. As far as precedent, I can't imagine. I did this for 10 years, like with people like AJ. I can't imagine going to a player and say, hey, by the way, we got to put this in. You got to study. And if you don't, you lose $100 million of guarantees. I mean, obviously they agreed to it. So I think Kyler and Eric said, all right, you're going to give us 105 guaranteed. You're going to give us 230. All right. Put it in there.
Will work, I guess.
But, and if I'm another Cardinals player that's coming up for a big deal, I don't know who the big deal would be next for that team. I'm not going to. I mean, if they're going to try to say, well, we got it in for our best player, you got to use it too. I'm going to buck up against that if I'm that player. No.
Yeah, and if I'm the agent, by the way, you just gave a bunch of money to a guy that doesn't watch film. I'm fucking first one in, last one out. I do this, I'm this. Like, there is, It's not good for either side, I don't think, going public. But we're running out of time, and I have more questions for you. Travis Kelce got a new deal that gives him more money next year as opposed to in the future. Ian Rapoport said it's because Travis Kelce is grossly underpaid, and they want to do right by their guy. I appreciate Ian Rapoport saying that. That ain't never been the fucking case in the NFL. Is that because you think future salary caps are planning for, and they have a little extra money this year, so let's go ahead and do right by our guy this year because in the future we might be fucked? And is that how you view every deal like this because you've been there, done that, just like me and AJ probably do anytime we see something like this happen?
The way I look at that is I think the Chiefs got good deals. Right after the Super Bowl, they did big deals for Pat Mahomes, of course, and Kelce, and I thought those deals were pretty team-friendly. I honestly felt those teams are pretty, and now they catch up to him a couple years later, and Kelce, look at the wide receiver markets at 25 a year. This deal's way below that. I know he's not a wide receiver. But
best wide receiver in the NFL, actually.
He has the stats like a wide receiver. Mm-hmm. So they're like, we got to sweeten this. I think this was a compromise, Pat, between doing nothing and between tearing up the deal and giving him a whole new deal. They said, let's just throw $3 million from next year or the year after into this year. They had the cap room, throw it into this year, make him happy for the short term. But this is going to happen with Mahomes, too. The market's already passed him by. And at some point, I know he's saying all the good things, he's a great team player, but at some point, they're going to have to adjust that, too.
Andrew, every time you come on, I get smarter. I can't thank you enough. Let's make this happen on a more regular basis. That's on me, not on you. You're always so gracious with your time. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Brant. Thank you. All right, before we get out of here, there's some tweets coming in from Pittsburgh Steelers camp. Big thanks. He's fucking really good. I like that guy. Yeah. Brooke Pryor, who covers the Steelers for ESPN, I believe. She's put out a couple tweets here from training camp. Mitch Trubisky takes the first 2 first-team reps and has 2 incompletions. And a fan goes, "Get Pickett in there." Then, obviously, that's tweet that just came up right here. First set of third downs. Plays. Trubisky went 1 of 4. Rudolph went 4 of 4. Ooh. The hero.
Let's go.
Kenny Pickett went 2 of 4. Let's remember, they're all running the same set of plays. This is how training camp goes. So Brooke Pryor goes on to say, but we're not going to read into every single throw of training camp, right, guys? Absolutely not, right? That's not what's going to happen in any place that has a potential quarterback competition lingering. That's why the San Francisco 49ers are saying, Jimmy G comes in the morning, he throws, he works out, then he goes home. We cannot have him and Trey Lance on the field at the same time, in the same locker room at the same time, in the same team meeting at the same time. This is Trey's team. Jimmy's awesome, but it's time to move on. This is what you get when a quarterback competition happens, though, because it's such an important position, AJ Hawk. In every single throw, not only by the fans and by media, by the fucking players on that team, too. Yeah. And the coaches, AJ, are going to get looked into.
Or in training camp is the only time of the year when you have any practices that are open to the public, to where anyone can come sit there and watch. Now, you showed the line of all the Steelers fans just to get to camp was awesome. Like, I love the Steelers fans and how much they care. It reminds me, that's how Green Bay people are, I think. They'll wait in line just to go watch guys in helmets in their first practice. It's pretty cool, but I hate overanalyzing anything that happens in camp. No, it's called practice. Dude. It's called practice for a reason. What do? You work on stuff. You practice things that you might use in a game. Okay. Oh, this worked. This didn't work. Okay. Here we go. That's what practice is.
No, AJ. Practice is how they're going to play exactly on Sundays.
Bingo. They're going to grade the O and D lineman doing the one-on-one pass rush too. The O lineman really like when you do that. Oh, this guy got beat 4 out of 6 times. Yeah. Oh, did he?
And also, guys are working on stuff. So it might not be their best throws happening right now, but they're working on things and learning things. That's what training camp is. Chris Mad Dog Russo's next. Nice. Thank you.
3 for 3 again.
Pretty heated conversation there. This is like when Richard Sherman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time we got a chance to talk about it on this particular show. The internet was just cooking Sherman. This guy's trash. He just negotiated his own deal, right? So every media member that has an agent, every media member was now against Richard Sherman because he did his own deal and he didn't need an agent. So one bad thing happens, boom, you're basically just giving them fodder to go, hey, we can go ahead and let lead on the guy that thinks he doesn't need an agent, right? I mean, we can kind of do that. And they did. And then we got on here like, what if he's working on a new fucking get-off? Like, what if he's working on a new technique that is as little as him putting his right foot down first as opposed to his left foot down first, which is what practice is for. And then obviously Richard Sherman will go on to become Still a great football player.
Right, yep.
Still a bunch of
Pro
things
bowler.
after this thing is shown. But that is the thing I always think back to whenever I'm like, oh, yeah, remember the first time we lost our minds when people were judging a practice rep? Oh, this guy's fucking garbage. It's like, what if he's actually getting better in trying?
Because he's not scared. Going back to the Richard Sherman situation, Kyle Shanahan, I think he talked about the next day in their team meeting. He showed the clip. I think Richard got beat deep in one-on-ones or a team drill or whatever. And he said, like, hey, no, we need to praise this dude. He actually isn't scared to make a mistake he isn't scared to get beat deep, because we know if the media is there, if fans are there, no one wants to get beat deep. They're going to give him way too much of a cushion a lot of times just so it doesn't look bad publicly, but you could be screwing your team over. So Richard had the balls to actually get beat deep in practice. And I think Shanahan showed it to the rest of the team. He's like, hey, this is practice. Let's work on what we need to do.
Let's try to get better. Let's not be scared of having a bad rep in front of things that don't matter.
But none of it matters. You know, the second camp is over, it's forgotten. Nothing matters.
Boom. In the moment, it is reacted to, but then it's moved on. But that's like when I was young, trying to figure out and learn how to punt. It felt like every single punt that I did in one of those public practices was like me proving to the fans that, because Hunter Smith was beloved here. So then I got, once I learned how to punt and I was pretty fucking good, then I got comfortable working on stuff. And it's like, hey, this ball might go 15 yards here in front of this full stadium here that we have at training camp. And it's like, you got to get to a point where, you can be willing to have that be on film. Because not only the fans aren't the only ones seeing it. I mean, the coaches are seeing you get cooked that might not know you personally. The internet's obviously seeing it. The media's seeing it. And it's like, well, I literally was just trying to do something that I'd never done before. I just want to get, is this practice? Or no, it's like, no, every fucking rep is a game rep. You need to be at your all-time high at all times. It's like, that's not the right way to look at practice, I don't think, especially for the veterans, especially for the guys who are just trying to get better out there.
Sherman hit every single one of his incentives that year, didn't he? And then he went to the Pro Bowl, and then people
Yeah, but his
laughed at him.
contract was, incentive-based.
Yeah.
So
betting on himself.
Well, and all that stuff is true, but when you look at the Steelers one, to me, competition over. You found your guy, Mason, 4-4 on third down.
Yeah,
because
of money downs.
Yep.
To me, this screams trade value through the roof. Everybody is watching what Mason's doing out there. Teams clamoring for QB. They're going to be looking at Mason, and they're going to say, we want that guy on our team. He's lighting it up this early. Let's go.
Are they trading for Kenny? Are they trading Kenny or
no, Mitch? And by Mitch, I mean Mitch.
Trade Mitch.
So
they're getting rid of Mitch.
So Mitch, they're getting rid of Mitch. Is what Pittsburgh's already thinking about doing.
Mason, you heard me.
Does he make 10 a year?
Mason?
Mitch, 8, I think. Is it 8?
Someone going to pay 8 a year to bring Mitch in?
I think it's a lot less than that.
Maybe it's 2 years, $8 million.
Yeah.
$4 million.
I hope Mitch does well. I
really hope Mitch does well.
Hey, look for the Carolina Panthers to maybe bring in Mitch, Mason, and Kenny.
Yeah,
they can get their hands on.
Yeah.
They'll do that.
The players decide. Don't the players make the decision too? Isn't that what Rule said?
Yeah, they love Mason.
How about I learned a lot about some people on the internet, and this I forgot about this thing happening whenever it comes football season. I just feel like when somebody sees a clear up down, an up down, and they call it a burpee, I go, okay, all right. So you were never around sports, probably in the military. Maybe in
or CrossFit.
CrossFit, which honorable, respect, hard workouts, incredibly admirable life. I get that. But when a football team does an up down and somebody says, they're doing burpees out there, I'm like, oh, you've never been around football. Because up down since the very beginning of this entire thing. And by the way, that doesn't mean you're a bad person. I don't think that at all. I'm just saying we all naturally learn about you quickly. It's either thank you for your service, or you do great work in that box on the corner down there where you're CrossFit.
Yes.
So it's one or the other immediately happening. The MCDC-led up downs out of Detroit Lions training camp, day one, with Kelvin Shepard, former linebacker for the Colts, the Bills, the Dolphins. He's also a coach up there. I think Antoine Randall is to his right, former player, and they're all doing up downs. Really made some waves on the internet this morning, and this is exactly what MCDC is trying to do. Set a fucking tone. Chop on! Hit! 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 They did a lot. I would like to say, if you look on the left side of the screen, it's number 50 right here next to me. That fucker's cut. Just know that guy's going to get cut. Pause the screen. Pause. Can we pause? That guy with the highest head right there on the left line, I have a good, funny feeling that there is some sort of video that is going to be shown of these up downs, and 50 is not going to be shown in good light. 50. We actually had to Google who it is. 5th-year player out of Alabama. Last year he was hurt. I think he's a special teamer. Being in his 5th year, his min is going to be higher. The fact that he has by far the worst up-downs out of everybody on the field, including knee surgery ass having Antoine Randall and MCDC and Shepard in them. I assume this guy's not going to make the team. Nope. I am assuming that's the case. But how did you do up downs a lot in training camp? Look at that guy, AJ. That guy fucking the ground.
Oh no, he's not even lifting his head up.
Not even lifting his head up. He's not making the team.
Oh no.
That guy's just
you gotta hit your chest on the ground.
Well, you got to get your head up too, and then your chest. I mean, he's
working hard.
That guy is gone.
Jeez.
That's what I got from this video. But everybody's like, look at MCDC got his wrist taped and all that. I'm like, look at how miserable the players are. Oh, there's a guy that's not going to make the team. That's literally what I saw.
Yeah, but Browsers might scoop him up after that performance.
He did long pipe that thing. He was, wasn't he? He was long stroking that thing.
It's always a punishment. The up downs are always a punishment.
Yeah, it's never hey, let's have a good day. Yeah. Chopper.
Warm up.
Here we go. Everybody's miserable. Everybody's fucking miserable.
First practice.
First practice.
Get him chopping. That's the last thing you want to hear. Get him chopping.
Yeah. Normally at that stage of practice, I have my shoes untied already. All right, I've already been down for 35, 40 minutes and walking around. Everybody start chopping them. All right, let's go to the indoor. Sit down, see us. McAfee! All right, my shoes aren't tied. Okay, here we go. And then I never want to be the guy that causes more, right? Never want to be the guy that causes more, even though I haven't done anything in 45 minutes. I'm definitely off. So you have to go all the way in. I felt good about my form. And I feel like if you don't, everybody knows. You know? Yeah.
You just got to go. It's just effort. Just give a little bit more effort, and you're going to look fine, and you're going to continue about your day.
I'm wondering if that guy's on the team tonight, honestly.
Is he have an injury or something?
He's up there, right? He had an injury last year, but he's up. I assume, hey, if you're on PUP or, if you have any injuries, you're out of the up-downs. You're out of the up-downs. You can go off to the side there, but that was not, is that the new generation of up-downs, right? That guy was doing burpees.
Yeah.
That guy was doing burpees, AJ. That ain't an up-down right there. I'm bummed for him, but I do.
Can you show us the difference?
No. I got good shoes on. Good shoes on right now. Good shoes on.
He's lucky the coaches were doing them too. I
I
assume he would have got called out.
Fresh white shell tops, got a little gold.
Okay.
Yeah, no big deal. These shoes very uncomfortable.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my feet just slide into the end, so the toes are just almost getting jamming them. But they look cool. I mean, they're classics.
Yeah, they're sweet.
Always going to do their thing. Did you tell Usman you were unhappy you couldn't talk to him? Mm-hmm. Is that what happened?
Yeah, geez.
No, I did not actually. How long was he on last time before it shut off?
12 minutes maybe? 13 minutes?
Oh, okay.
I do get chatty. I mean, what do you want me to do? I got lost.
It's your show.
He's a dog.
Well, I'm also very fucking chatty though. So what do you want from me?
I think you're in the right profession.
I'm sorry, Usman. Fuck. That's what I almost
You did him a solid though, because he didn't know AJ's name.
Yeah.
No chance.
No idea.
Kept calling him you. So.
I wish I should have. What if I would have just called you wrong? Hey, Mike.
Yeah, should have. Honestly, next time do that.
And him give such a good motivational speech, and then call you Mike at the end of it. Right, we'd have that clip forever.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus.
Please do. And you have to use Mike too. It has to be Mike Hawk. So please do that next time.
Yeah,
that was
absolutely.
like yesterday. Someone was talking about
football.
Yeah.
You know, Pat. That's the first time ever.
Yeah. It wasn't AJ.
That's the first time ever somebody was going, Pat,
you said that. You said something to me right when you
did. Fuck off, AJ. Yeah. While the guy was speaking, I had to get in there.
That was awesome.
It felt good. It was a good moment for me.
Dansby was Dansby.
Dansby, yeah.
Dansby Swans. Did you see the night he had last night?
Dude made a play. I didn't see the night. I saw what you posted. He made a play.
3 for 3 and fucking obviously.
Sorry about it.
Sorry about it.
It was unbelievable. He had dirt all over him too. He had to slide somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking guy.
Are the Braves going to be able to keep him?
If they have money.
If his agent tells him they made an offer, right? I guess that's
he's going to get what, $300 million? How much is he going to get?
Probably.
How much will he get? What's the market for a shortstop?
Small star.
He's not getting $300 million. He might 150 maybe.
What's your problem?
Okay.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah,
are you an agent in the MLB?
Well, I've seen the guy's stats, and I know people are going for. He's a good player, first time All-Star this year, but he ain't getting Aaron Judge money. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, Aaron Judge getting $300 million.
He's getting $500.
He's gonna get $450 million.
He'll probably get. He's getting like $10 million a year this year. He'll probably get
Yankees are
15, $20 million a year. Now?
25.
So you get a 10-year, $200 million deal.
Yeah.
Let's go, Dansby.
Fully guaranteed, right?
Fully
yeah.
guaranteed.
You know it.
Man.
with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you guys are shipping O'Neal Cruz out already.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
All right, we'll take him.
You got him. Guy hits 115.
Deal. You fucking need him. Deal.
You guys suck.
We're selling everybody right now.
Yeah, you guys suck. You're like us. Is it worse for you because you had expectations of your team being good and now you're the Pirates? Is that worse, or is it worse for us never having a team?
It's much better just because I don't have to act like I care about baseball, and I can just already put that season behind me and go on to football season. But no, it's a bummer. I feel bad for people who care about it.
I may or may not have been talking to somebody else from your area, maybe even your same exact high school.
Sure.
Who has the same arrogance about Boston sports.
Sure.
And he gave that same line, I don't even like, and said the sport. And then he went on a full promo about the sport. And it talks about how many banners there was in the fucking arena.
Yeah. You can.
And he's like, it's hard. Greatness everywhere. I don't even like hockey, but I have to watch because they're in the fucking championship. What do you want from me? I'm like, relax, dude, okay? You fucking assholes up here.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know how many banners there are, but the Celtics just went to the NBA Finals. That kind of
that's never happening again.
That'll carry me. Well, and we're getting Kevin Durant, so it's probably going to happen again.
Whoa! Isn't Boston Isn't Boston mad at you for saying that you would like Kevin Durant?
I was very surprised that a lot of people do not want Kevin Durant, but those people are marks, so I don't care.
Oh, jeez, AJ, did you hear that? Like that is a fun thing about this show. Like, we all kind of represent a group of people, right? Obviously, Diggs represents the Italians in a poor fashion.
Yeah.
Mozzarella. I mean, in a very poor fashion.
Diggs represents a couple different groups.
Well, but Steelers fans normally. So when Diggs gives a statement about how the Steelers fans feel, if somebody or a group of Steelers fans disagree, he gets called a sellout, fake coward. This guy doesn't know, right? Connor, same thing with Boston. Basically all Boston sports. If Connor misses, Boston comes after Connor. This fucking guy living in Indiana too long.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. Fuck this guy. Have somebody who has a real Boston mentality on the show. It's like, damn, I feel like Connor was batting .999 there for a little bit, but he might have missed on one. The Kevin Durant Celtics one came out of nowhere for me too. I didn't know you were going to take heat for that.
I think that's like the one I can look back on and like really remember. I don't remember it happening.
Why don't they want him?
Tom Brady. There's Tom Brady's situation.
Brady too, but that was even more split. Like KD was 95 to 5% maybe on not wanting him and wanting him. But KD's one of those players like reminds me kind of Rodgers. Like you either hate him or you love him. Although the amount of people that hate him is so much bigger because of all the shit that he does.
You did not expect though for you to say,
not
hey,
at all.
Top 3 player on everybody's list coming to the Celtics would be awesome, especially if we keep Marcus Smart and Tatum.
Yeah.
That'd be a great time with the way they built that team around defense and everything. And then you were told, this guy doesn't fucking know. Keep him out of keep that energy, Boston.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy. And they were acting like I said I hated Jalen Brown. I actually said in it, I love Jalen Brown, but Kevin Durant is so goddamn good at basketball. So we'll see what happens.
Tommy Curran is the representative of Boston now in our eyes.
Yeah.
And this is what Tommy Curran tweeted.
Whoa.
Yeah. What?
That guy wishes he could have gone down to Tampa Bay and talk about Tampa Tom so bad. He has for the past 3 years.
Do you know Tommy Curran's going to hear what you just said about him?
And so is Bo. And you know what? Sorry, boys.
So Bo.
Bo Curran's
dog.
Yeah. Sorry, Bo.
Sweet little beagle.
Tommy Curran. No, can we pull the tweet up that Tommy Curran put out about who's OC, who's not OC, who's running what, and why it's happening? Tommy Curran, boots on the ground at training camp. Remember a couple years ago when Cam Newton was potentially the quarterback? Tommy Curran came on here when Connor was saying, we got Bill Belichick, we're still going to be good. Tommy Curran said, they're not coming around the bend. They're not coming around the mountain when they come.
Cavalry.
This team stinks, he says. Connor, this is going to be a bad year. It was. Tommy Curran has not lied to us from training camp yet, I do not believe. Now, eyes on the team for the first time for this training camp. Tommy Curran probably is like 20th training camp.
Oh, yeah. I think at least. I think he might be more mid-20s, even close to 30.
Works for NBC Sports Boston, Tom E. Curran. This is what he's tweeting about the situation happening for the New England Patriots. I'm nearing I don't give a fuck territory on the play caller OCDC talk. Matt Patricia is going to call the plays and be acting offense coordinator, but not naming him allows Pats to let the Detroit Lions keep paying him through the end of his Lions contract, 2022 this year. It means Patricia doesn't have to do weekly coordinator calls. Once again, Bill Belichick playing chess, not checkers, and Dan Orlovsky was worried about this situation to begin with. Now, a defensive coordinator being the OC with Bill Belichick, who's a big-time defensive guy running the offense, we'll see how it goes. But of course, Bill Belichick's working the system, and we had to have known that all along.
I didn't know this is a money thing, right? So he's able to keep being paid from Detroit. But if he was named the coordinator, he wasn't?
I don't know. Is he just an advisor?
And it's good that he didn't have to talk to the media then at all now, the whole season, I guess.
That is nice.
And now everybody's going to do this.
Yeah.
Everybody's just going to do
There's no coordinators left anywhere in the league then.
So some places, I think they feel obligated to give the coordinator title because it's quite a boost in a resume, so to potentially become a head coach.
Yeah.
But just working with Bill Belichick is the same thing, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, like work with Bill Belichick, you're good.
Like Saban, like the college, like any coach that goes and works for Saban.
Exactly. So other organizations, other programs have to have like offense coordinator title, defense coordinator title for them to potentially get new jobs.
Yeah.
If you just work in New England, it's like, hey, their fucking fourth guy on the defensive line is potentially going to be the head coach for, what's his name? We don't know his name. He did work for Belichick 20 years, though. So everybody's like, all right, well, fucking bring him in. Bring him in. Bring him in for an interview. That's kind of how it goes in New England. It just operates differently up there.
Yeah, it just happened with Gerard Mayo this offseason. He's like the inside linebackers coach, and he got head coaching interviews at least this year.
Matt Patricia, pseudo-acting offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, is going to get paid his entire contract by the Detroit Lions. Calvin Johnson wasn't. Something to think about.
Whoa. Something to think about.
Listen, we miss Foxy. I would definitely send him this clip if he's not watching. He's going through some heavy stuff with the family back in Michigan, but like, that's something to think about.
That's crazy.
Something to think about, Fox.
Yikes.
God.
Lions fans.
Yikes.
You guys are just being got. And you're like, well, they tried to pay Calvin Johnson. They're not allowed to. They fucking are. They could, and they haven't. So do it and release the curse so MCDC and the boys can go win some games on Hard Knocks. You know what I mean, AJ?
I guess, is Dan okay now, though, with, has he settled on them not having titles and who's calling the plays and all of that?
We haven't got his follow-up because at one point that was his number one worry in the entire NFL.
Yeah, well, I think he was on last week, right? Or was it Monday? We did just ask him about it, and he's still very, very worried about it.
Really? I didn't remember that.
I mean, I would be more worried, no matter what the title is, who has the title, would be more worried that, hey, we lost Josh McDaniels, who I believe is one of the greatest play callers in all of the league, for sure.
Hey, we haven't really been able to win since Tom left. That's another thing.
Yeah.
You didn't deserve that.
Well, I mean, it's real. I haven't won a playoff game since he left, so.
You haven't?
No.
Have you ever?
They have to be good.
Have you ever won a playoff game?
Me? Yeah. Of course. What do you,
all sports?
What are you talking about? Yeah. Every sport I played in, I actually won a playoff game.
I can't believe we lost down there in Clowntown last year.
Yeah, what a joke.
I took an L in Clowntown.
Yeah.
That's how you just spoke right there. I haven't won a playoff game since blah, blah, blah.
I haven't.
Without that loss, though, you wouldn't have had Matt Ryan probably.
Since I won the Super Bowl, I haven't.
Matt Ryan, by the way. Okay, way to go. Matt Ryan, fucking astronaut, Navy SEAL.
Yeah, sure.
I like you putting the onus on the I.
Yeah.
Because if anything bad happens, we're going to blame you for it.
You should. And are you like a little worried that Matt Ryan couldn't get his old buddy Julio Jones to come to Indianapolis? That doesn't concern you at all?
We don't know what they offered him.
Well, they got more cap space than the Buccaneers.
Julio said that people offered him more money in other places. He won a win championship.
Ex-quarterback.
You know what, Matt?
He doesn't know who the fuck Shaquille Leonard is, though.
No. That's true, but...
Do you?
Yeah, I know who Shaq Leonard
Who's
is.
Shaq Leonard?
More than...
Is that a draft pick from this year?
No.
Take a walk. Don't be disrespectful to a maniac.
Tony.
Oh, wait. You mean Darius?
No.
Tony.
Shaquille.
I'm confused. What's
Can we call him Shaq, though? Or do we have to say
known as
Shaquille?
Darius.
I don't know. We have not gotten the update. I am a massive Shaquille
Sweet
Leonard
middle name.
fan. Massive.
Yeah.
So wherever the fuck he wants to go by, me and him got a big season coming up. We're going down.
You're right.
We went down to Clowntown last year.
That's right.
We lost to Jacksonville, got knocked out of the playoffs.
That Colts just tweeted happy birthday to Shaquille, and they had his name as Shaquille Leonard, so that's his name.
Happy birthday, Shaq.
Hey, baby Shaq.
Better be careful.
His Wikipedia does say Shaquille Leonard, so I'm in.
All right.
AB changed his name once, and then things started to go haywire from there.
To Ronald?
No, Himothy.
Call me Ronald.
I don't remember Ronald.
I don't remember that.
I remember Himothy, though. Mr. Big Chest, too.
Yeah.
Ronald.
Yeah.
Ronald was awesome.
Ronald Brown.
How's his driver doing?
Danny Boy Hustle Hard?
Yeah.
Danny Boy Hustle Hard's still hustling over there
Is he
in
on
New
Shark
York.
Tank or something now, probably?
No, he was at Rolling.
He's on Instagram.
Yeah.
He was at Rolling Loud. He was the one yelling, "Do your dance, AB. Do your dance" in the background.
I hope Danny Boy was in the
That was so sweet.
Yeah.
I should have went to Rolling Loud and watch old buddy walk off the stage,
I
too.
think everyone's doing it now, too.
Who?
Kid Cudi, right? Didn't he leave the stage because
they
people
were
were throwing
throwing
stuff?
I thought that
at
was
him.
somewhere else.
Oh no, I do remember there was not a
Yeah,
good response to Kanye getting dropped off as the head main event or headline, and then Kid Cudi going on there. A lot of people on the internet were like, "Kid Cudi," I'm like, "You guys are being very disrespectful to fucking Kid Cudi right now." And then it carried into I didn't know that carried into the festival.
He walked off.
He walked off the stage because they kept throwing shit up there at him.
He said, "Throw one more piece of trash out here, I'll fucking leave." I actually will. And while he was saying it, someone threw more trash.
Was he just he was saving the earth? Or?
Cudi saw the internet reaction of a lot of bashing, and he was going in there. I'm out of here. If it's one disrespectful thing, I'm doing you guys a fucking favor. It's 6 days before, and Kanye just drops out of this thing, and I got you assholes. No,
How many songs did AB do?
No respect.
I only saw that one clip where he lit the place up.
Yeah, 4.
Put my shit on.
Yeah.
Put my shit on.
He's already the best athlete turned rapper that we've ever had.
Whoa.
Right?
Shaq Diesel.
Yeah, come on.
Probably give a little bit of a run for money. Deion Sanders, I think he had a number 1 hit, top 5 hit, I think at one point.
Dame Lillard.
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley's got bars.
He does.
Cole Beasley's not getting invited to any festivals, but I think if he was to go, he would hold his
He
own.
fucking body
Roy
bagged
Jones?
COVID.
He did.
Yeah, Roy Jones, you're right.
Yeah.
Can't be touched, can't be touched, can't be moved.
John Cena.
We hot.
True. Jow has that banger.
What'd you say, Con?
Jow. What do we call him?
What's it called?
John Cena has a banger. Mr.
Situation's so weird.
Mr.
Jow.
Cena.
Jousey.
Mr. Cena.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phone.
I thought you were going to say
J.
Mr.
Cole.
Beijing.
Jesus.
Honestly, that's where you were going.
Just the son of a bitch.
It's like, holy shit. I didn't know he won that award that year. So that's a real pageant they have.
Imagine him coming. Fucking automatically win.
Oh, yeah.
Walk, personality test.
Yeah.
Cena's winning it all.
Winner.
Not just that city, by the way, or that country. Every one of them, including America.
You're right.
He pronounced Bin Laden dead.
Yeah.
To America. Never forget it. Let's go to the phones.
Train the guy who killed
John Cena's been in bodybuilder shape for like 20 straight years.
Dude,
Yeah.
I guess as a teenager he started doing that. He's been in bodybuilder shape since he's like 13 years old. And because I've met a couple people that knew him before, right? Before I get into WWE. And like, let's say back when Corbin wasn't an insufferable douchebag.
Sure.
And we had a friendship, you know, that hopefully we'll be able to find again after Saturday, after
knock his teeth out.
Teach him a lesson.
knock him back down.
Are you fighting before Brock? When's Brock fight?
Yeah, I'd assume Brock and Roman are going to be the last fight. I was 7 years in the making is how that is being built. I think that's going to go there. But at first time, like after Corbin had got to the WWE and we had chatted, I was like, what's Cena like? Is that guy just eating steroids in front of you guys all the time? And he's like, no, he's been like that since he's like 13 years old. He just like, his body has always been just absolutely
Stacked.
Built for it.
And if you see, he went for 20 years, like every night, didn't get hurt, feels like his muscles were.
So lean, though. He's so lean throughout the whole time. I know one of the wrestlers was telling us, he's like, yeah, he's in good shape. He's like, I don't want to be in too good a shape because then if I look a little bit, if I have 2 pounds heavier, everyone says, oh, this guy's fat, he looks terrible. So he just stays in like pretty good shape.
Yeah, if you're a six-pack and a body guy in the WWE and you go away and you come back and you don't have the body, you're like, oh, look at how fat this person's got. Like, that's just how it is. Cena's just been strapped since he's 16. Goes away, comes back. Oh, he's more strapped somehow. He has to just work out all day, huh? That has to be an all-day thing.
Big diet. I mean, I would imagine his diet is very, very clean too.
Twice a
Well, you think he's doing keto or what?
No, I mean you go through basic and you go through buds training. Like that's embedded in your DNA after that.
I think he's Marine. No, there's no buds.
No, yeah, I know. He went through basic for the Marines, and then after he fucking most decorated Marine ever, he went to buds and
just said I could try it.
Yeah,
100 plus confirmed.
Oh, terminal list.
Oh yeah,
it's good. Start it.
Oh, you're in.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, see, I knew
Is it good?
Come
I
back
heard it
around
was.
on Chris
Don't
Pratt.
get caught downrange.
Okay.
I was up till 2 a.m. with that.
Is that
one.
good?
Good.
I didn't know it was an hour and 7 minutes long. I started it at 11, and
Wait, it's multiple episodes.
8 episodes, yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
seems like it's gonna be worth it. I mean,
Is
they
it
get
though?
fucking
Okay.
right into it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
So you're back on.
Chris Pratt. To be clear, Was never on to begin with. So this is my first introduction to Chris Pratt,
right.
kind of
as
opposed to Jurassic World Dominion. What the fuck was that?
That was a travesty. Is what that was.
Train wreck.
I'd say, especially for how I felt about Chris Pratt. I didn't know about Chris Pratt other than Jurassic World Dominion. Say some terrible things about Jurassic World Dominion. See Chris Pratt in person. Have to think to myself, yeah, if we had to, I think,
Yeah.
Had to do a lot of that with, if we had to, I think I'd be able to handle myself. I'd be okay. After watching Terminalist, I'm fucking massive Chris Pratt fan.
Yeah, here we go.
Massive Chris. And I don't know if I could have, by the way.
Yeah.
I think I'm on it. As I had that neck brace on at the UFC thing, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, if this guy really hates me and we got to really scrap here, like, am I good? And I said, yeah, I'm fucking good. I'm in a good spot. I'm very comfortable right now. I'm happy I didn't see Terminalist before that, because I think I would have been a little bit
nervous.
Oh my God, this guy's a fucking killer. This guy is an absolute bat.
I also watched
It's really good, AJ. It's fucking really, really, really good. And needed, I think. Like, for society. I think it's something that's needed.
Wow.
I'll check it out for sure. I heard that from other people too.
I think so. It sheds a light on like what people are living right now, that are in the military. Like, I think better than, like, people always talk about PTSD. I think this is like a very...
What is it about exactly? Like, how is he helping? Like, what is he doing?
So he's commander. He was commander. Okay, so he had a crew. SEAL Team 7, I believe, was his crew, his team. Terrible thing happens. Quick. I mean, like, by the way, not something good, something. I mean,
did you finish the first episode?
Yes.
Wasn't this written by a Navy SEAL, the one guy?
Yeah. It's all in the trailer, but yeah, there's like a covert op in Libya. They get bad intel. His entire team gets killed, pretty much.
And then he has to deal with that as a human going forward, and like both the politics of it, the real everyday life of it. What he has to battle every time he fucking...
Oh, I'm in. That's all I need.
It's really, really good. It spotlights, I think, PTSD like in a fashion that I don't think has ever been displayed in front of all of us like this. We always talk about it. We always go like, we got to get him help. Like, everybody always says that. But then once you like watch what it potentially is like for a lot of people, it's like, oh, fuck. That has to be very difficult to deal with.
Mm-hmm. And then a bigger conspiracy kind of starts to unwrap from there on out. And
here we go.
Let's just say he's got a list and he's checking it.
Twice.
Yeah.
Like Santa.
I think Nate Boyer's in that as well.
Yes.
It was good.
Is he?
I really enjoyed it. Chris Pratt's beard, kind of similar to how my beard grows.
Okay.
So that made me feel good. Just kind of like a little lower, looser, not as good looking of a beard. But I liked it. It made it more relatable. Chris Pratt's a fucking badass, though.
Yeah, he is.
Pumped for this.
I'm excited for it.
He's like a big hunter, outdoor guy, all that.
Was he done? He just got done filming that whenever I seen him at UFC. Was he in Navy SEAL mode when I saw him? And I thought,
probably not. He's been done with that for a while.
Jesus, thank God. What a misread by me. I've had a lot of those. Literally, as I'm sitting there with a neck brace, telling fucking Mr. H.
You take this guy.
Yeah, he's got 3 other projects in post-production already. So
him and Miles right now. What's Miles got going on? I think he
just had those 3 things come out at the same time, pretty much.
That's kind of what Chris got going on right now too. It feels like those two,
6 months on, 6 months
super
off.
in on everything there.
Miles is filming Ark in the Aardvark right now.
Oh no!
Let's go.
What is that?
Oh, he's just a voice.
Yeah, it's an animated film.
All right. Okay, that's good.
It's like superhero life pets thing.
I was thinking.
And he's got 2 things in pre-production. So Miles is, he's relaxing right now. It feels like
Miles is the guy over there, but Chris Pratt probably gonna make an effort at it. You gonna invite Miles onto the show ever, AJ?
Yeah.
He should come on the show. Honestly, let's do it.
I think he would do well on this show after talking to him for a few days.
Yeah, let's do it. I think we should.
All right, why don't you text him?
Here we go.
Okay.
I have his phone number now too. No big deal.
Whoa, you can text him.
Nah, I'm not gonna.
We need to get Chris on as well because I need to know what his accent is going to be. He's doing the voice of Mario, so I need to.
Chris Pratt's doing Mario.
Yeah, he's Mario.
People are pissed.
They're not happy.
What if he goes Luigi? What if that is every single line? Who's got the pasta and the pipes for me to jump into? What if that's what Chris Pratt?
I would need to see his genealogy report to see if that was okay or not.
It's a massive chance. That's
I just saw all the Italians that are watching that were offended by what Diggs said earlier today. I am 0.01% Italian. I have a pinky ring on. Get off my fucking back. But if Chris Pratt's audition was that's fucked up. He got the job. Yeah, and I'm assuming that's not what he did.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, just especially if like Disney's making a movie, they don't fucking care.
Is Coppola directing the Mario and Luigi movie?
I don't believe so.
Who's Coppola?
Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, you piece of shit.
Yeah. Take a seat, pal. Take a lap.
Dude, take a fucking lap.
I don't know any of these people. We've been doing this for a little
Feels
bit.
like a couple fucking
Mario, Luigi. Fucking, you don't know who Mario and Luigi are?
I know who they are. Is Coppola the guy who acted like as
Coppola's
Mario?
related to Nicolas Cage.
Are you
Nicolas
okay?
Cage's last name is Coppola.
Oh, that narrows it down.
Francis Ford Coppola is Nicolas Cage's uncle.
Of course it is.
Yep.
Francis Coppola is, not only does he have a great wine and loves wine.
Sure.
This guy fucking loves wine.
Oh, I've had that one.
His palate, yeah. His palate is maybe the most sophisticated in the history of palates, this fucking guy. Also, the fucking director of Godfather.
Oh, of course. That's what I was going to say.
A lot of other stuff, too.
Yeah. Godfather 2.
Like what? Godfather
Yeah.
3.
His niece,
Yes.
his niece is a big
I know
time
this
director,
guy.
too.
This guy's just plugged into the. I didn't know he's just plugged into Hollywood. Nicolas Cage is fucking a paisan. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were actually.
How come he's not called?
Kyle Brant was
Yeah.
actually talking about
Nick
Good Morning.
Cageolini.
On Good Morning. It's Coppola.
Why is Nicolas Cage? He hates being Italian like you
Wow.
Well,
No, I think he wanted to
no.
differentiate. He wanted to separate himself.
Yes,
Like he wanted to
correct.
be his own guy.
do. Hey, I would like to be Nicolas Cage.
Cage Vecchio. How could
Capolini.
we do that?
That's actually not insulting at all. That's actually a pretty good name.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Digigulio.
You grew up next. What?
Whoa.
What did
How do you
say?
spell your last name, Diggs?
Say it again.
Digigulio.
That's a better name. Hey, that's better. Coach Digigulio.
Coach Digigulio.
That's
How do you spell it, Diggs?
Don't worry about it. I'll text you.
No, I don't know anybody's name on the show. It's like a running thing. I don't know any of your names.
You know my name?
You don't know Con
Con
Man?
Okay, so you know my name.
Evie, who's not here.
Yeah.
You know ZD, obviously.
No, definitely don't know anything about Zeke.
Well, neither do we.
Hell yeah.
I'll show you my license. I'll show you my license at the Buckeye Bash that you're throwing this year.
Oh, yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
Sounds
All of
good.
our invitations y'all lost in the mail
Yeah.
again this year.
What?
Got a table, I heard.
Oh,
was
that's
weird.
a shame.
Come on down, guys.
You got a table?
That's not
No, I'm
official.
not taking that one.
I wish we could house you, but you can come.
Maybe next
Well,
year.
that's the thing. I don't know if me and the wife are going to be able to make it
Maybe
this year.
next
Thought I was staying with Pistol.
Chopper.
He lives about an hour and a half away.
Okay.
He'll take it.
Hey, third and long, fourth and goal foundation.
Third and goal. Brady's thing?
What is it? We're punting. What is his thing?
The Bush
Third and goal
push.
was Brady.
Is it third and goal or third and long?
Third and goal.
I don't know if that's a good name. I mean, I don't want to. I trust and respect Brady Quinn and everything about him.
Right.
And he said that that's an important down. Okay, it is. Third and goal is certainly a very important. Fourth and goal, I think a little bit more important.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
the one. That would have been perfect.
Probably taken already, right?
Yeah.
Fourth and long's definitely taken. That's for some special teams group.
Maybe it's third and goal because it's like, you know, you're kicking a field goal on fourth down. This is the last down to get a touchdown.
Money down. Third down. Money down.
We don't want stupid field goal operation out here.
I mean, we just saw Mason Rudolph 4 for 4 on third down. It's the most important down. That's why it's
Well, it's the
third
money
and goal.
down. It is the money down in the red zone. I mean, in goal line, so it's money and money. All right, I take back everything I said, Brady. He's got something going on. I saw Chopper giving a speech. Does this guy give speeches and everything? And how come he didn't give a speech at your little cult event?
Chopper. Well, no. Brady has his charity golf thing that's coming up in August, and it
Let's go.
started
There
with
you go. Third and
everyone
goal.
there does. Yeah, third and goal. It's in Columbus. He comes in town for it. It's August. I don't know the date exactly this year, but yeah, Chopper starts the whole thing off. Everyone does a shot at Jameson to start it, and Chopper gives the toast.
Okay, so that's worthy of going to begin with, let alone help. I think build homes, right, for military vets and stuff?
Yeah, guys, people that come back, that have to like retrofit their house that got that you got their leg blown off or something happened. They go and they widen their hallways and build bathrooms they can roll into and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Third and goal foundation. That's money down in a money situation. Brady Quinn's running that. And then your code event. When you have your code event going on, is that open to the public or are tickets already sold?
No, it's already pretty much locked up with people coming. But yeah,
of course.
This is like like tickets to Lambeau or tickets to Acrisure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know
I
what
was
I
so
mean?
pumped for this too.
Didn't you say Tom Brenneman's emceeing this year?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Tom. Well, Marty, his father, is a legend.
All right.
Yeah, well, he raised a real piece of work.
What's your problem?
I'm serious.
All right, let's answer a phone call and get the fuck out of here. Let's go to Joey down here in Pittsburgh. Joey, what's going on?
Hey, Pat, boys, AJ, what's going on, everyone?
Hey, what's going on, Joe?
Not much. I just wanted to ask, I'm seeing it on FanDuel that the Steelers are ranked at the bottom of the division to win the AFC. I know. Everyone's down the Steelers. What do you guys think? You think we're going to see a reincarnation of the Steel Curtain with Brian Flores and the rest of the Steelers defense?
Joey ain't got a fucking quarterback, Joey.
We don't need a quarterback.
Hell yeah. All right, I like that. If you got bad odds, it's a good time to bet. Pittsburgh Steelers plus 950 to win the AFC North.
That's changed.
That's huge. Those are great odds. That's great money. If you have faith, Joey, fuck how FanDuel feels. Go ahead and get your cash from that. Now, with that being said, Joey Burrow said he thought he had a stomach ache. Turned out to be appendicitis. Had an
appendectomy.
Appendectomy. Got his appendix removed. He'll be out for a few weeks. Steelers and Bengals play opening week, I believe. Browns don't know who's going to be quarterback there. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens obviously going to be much better than last year because they won't be bitten by the injury bug as much as they were last year. Plus 950 sounds like a pretty reasonable bet if you're a Yinzer, and that might be what FanDuel's trying to do to you too, Joey.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why not. A few years ago, they picked them to finish last, I believe, and because the Bengals would finish last third, and they won the division. So, I mean, it's happened before. Why not do it again?
Plus 950 is good odds.
Great odds.
Last year, the Bengals were last.
Mike Tomlin's the fucking coach of a team that is currently at plus 950 to win the division. That sounds surprising to me.
The division?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That sounds. I mean, that's a safe little bet. I think someone could throw some money on.
There's one team I'm worried about.
Shout out to Joey, by the way, for bringing this up. But you guys don't have a fucking quarterback.
No. Cincinnati Bengals, the only one I'm worried about.
The appendicitis, I know we're kind of just talking it off as if it's nothing. Maybe they get off to a slow start.
Could.
I don't think they will because they bring back their core and add to it. And Joey Burrow's fucking Joey Burrow, so he's going to be able to get mental reps just like he was able to do when he was hurt off his ACL his rookie year and came back even better. But maybe there's a little bit of a slow start, and maybe some things start clicking on the offense side of the ball that they don't have to rely upon, 5-yard outs every single time they're able to open that thing up with Canada. Maybe the Steelers are able to do it.
Maybe, and Bengals, Jesse Bates is holding out, They go to the Super Bowl. Maybe they'll get a little fat and happy over the offseason. They didn't work out. They didn't do the extra fucking work this offseason. Maybe they come out slow. Who knows?
What about the Browns? They lose Jarvis Landry and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Browns. Never worried about the Browns.
Wow.
What if Big Ben signs with the Browns?
We've been pushing that the last couple of days.
Very likely.
Yeah, we've been pushing that around here pretty good because he said, still can sling it.
Mm-hmm. Ohio guy.
In what world would that happen?
What?
Ben signed with Browns.
Well, maybe the Browns need 6 to 9 games where they don't have a starter. Yeah. It's like, hey, who's somebody that knows the NFL defenses who can just get us through some games? We got 2 running backs.
Yep.
You're just going to hand this fucker off and then hit a couple little outs real quick. Amari Cooper's going to get open for you.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, Ben. We'll give you $10 million for 6 games.
Please.
Done.
Jacoby was named the starter today, okay?
That's because they couldn't. They're still negotiating with Ben. That sucks.
He wouldn't do that. He still lives in the city.
He's from northern part of Ohio. He's not too far from there.
He still lives in Pittsburgh. He would have to move, and his family would be ostracized. He's not going to do that to his family.
Where in Pittsburgh, but in Ohio, back in his hometown, he'd be king.
Yeah, let's go home.
He could probably commute.
I think the only way the Browns could make their situation worse is to bring in another quarterback accused of misconduct.
He's retired.
All right, still accused.
What's your problem?
Holy shit. Speaking of, though, Dan Snyder is tomorrow. He speaks in front of the house tomorrow.
On a Zoom call on his boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the internet will work for him.
What if he's using the 2-story IMAX theater on his yacht as the Zoom call? What if he's sitting in the theater? What if they get a shot and it's a wide shot, him in a 20-seat theater, and they even cut to the back sometimes, and it's the big thing, and you got the, Mr. Snyder, do you think this is a proper usage of taxpayer money to be talking to you today? Are you talking to me? That's what Goodell did. We ain't going to get shit from this, right?
No way.
Unless, Snyder is dumb enough. I wouldn't be surprised if a waitress comes by topless or something during this thing, and it kind of just reinforces what they're there to talk about.
Oh, damn.
All right.
He's got the cheerleader poster hanging in the background.
Exactly.
Let's go to Kyle in Staten Island on a 5Energy phone line. Go to 5Energy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order. Kyle in Staten Island, what's going on, pal?
Hey, Pat, boys, what's going on? How's it going?
Hey, not too bad. I don't want to sound like a disrespectful prick, but I don't think I've ever spoke to anybody from Staten Island. That's where all the trash goes. Why do you guys get buried so much?
Pete Davidson.
You know what? There's not too much to do around here in Staten Island, but, I'm not the type to shit on my hometown. So, I appreciate it for what it is, but it's not the best borough.
What's the coolest part about Staten Island?
Pete Davidson.
The water.
I guess I'd say probably like the parks, I guess.
All right.
All right.
Saw some good ones.
Got parks.
Good parks.
Great Pete Davidson. Good movies.
Yeah.
This guy sounds like a fucking
Wu-Tang
legend.
Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay. Angelina from Jersey Shore.
Yeah, indeed.
Kyle, what do you want to talk?
character.
Kyle, what do you want to talk about from the home of Angelina on Jersey Shore, Staten Island?
I honestly want to take it to Maryland, to the most hated quarterback in the NFL, Lamar Jackson. Because I'm tired of the disrespect and everything, especially these top 10 QB lists that come out. I don't know how Dak, Herbert, and Joe Burrow are above Lamar. It's crazy to me.
Joe Burrow's confusing to you?
Joe Burrow is, just because, this is what his second year. His second, he didn't even play a full year because of his injury, So I don't know if it's fair to put, a guy who hasn't even done, Lamar maybe hasn't performed well in the playoffs. I could see you putting Josh Allen above him. I don't know about Burrow, though. Burrow, it's too early for me to put him above Lamar.
All right, got you. Thank you, Kyle, for the call from the home of the Wu-Tang Clan.
That's right.
Staten Island, New York. It always seems to be probably similar people that don't like Lamar, right?
Yeah.
It's like people that just think that the quarterback has to be a pocket passer, has to be able to cerebrally read the defense, break things apart. Yeah, he's athletic, but he can't do what insert name of quarterback who can't do 1/10 of what Lamar can do on his feet. I just think that's a clash of styles that people have. And the old football guys that continue to say bad things about Lamar Jackson's style of play, I don't think you're ever going to get them to agree to it, by the way. I don't think you're ever going to get them to come around. But I am very thankful and lucky that we are a show and fans of the NFL in the Lamar Jackson era. This fucking guy is awesome to watch. And if they can continue to go, they got a playoff win. They're moving forward. He's about to get paid. Maybe he's able to get the Ravens back into Super Bowl contention, and that will shut everybody up, or no, you think?
If he wins a Super Bowl, it'll finally shut people up. Yeah, but I think it's like generational.
Can you do it again? Can you do it
the
again?
Old Stooges see a guy that this doesn't look like a 6'6" pocket passer that'll stand there and hit his third step and get rid of the ball. Like they feel like they have a vision of what an NFL quarterback is. And when anyone challenges that, they feel like, it's just a matter of time before that guy's garbage.
And you're never going to get them to change.
So there's no reason to even argue with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to realize that more in the world. Yeah. So you hear somebody say something that you don't agree with, instead of just reason and logic, I think sometimes people just got thrown in the towel and be like, this motherfucker ain't never going to change the way they think. Yep. We should move on to the subject or I'm going to end up hating this person forever. But that's just, some people, it's tough to change minds, especially with people that are old and successful. If people are old and successful and they've seen something work for a long, long time, acting as if something brand new is going to be something that they are going to like and take on to, it's like you're expecting a lot from people, I think. You're expecting a lot.
It's probably like when kids play newer music for their parents. They're instantly going to be turned on. This is garbage. This isn't what I'm used to. There's no talent behind this. All that stuff.
There's also a whole nostalgia factor in there. Like your greatest times happen. What's going on then? You're always going to have that in higher regard than anything else in the future. That's why I think there's always a generational music disparity. Because whenever I was going through high school and college, I was having a fucking great time and I was young. Here's the music that was out when that was happening. So not only does it sound better than the shit you're listening to and make more sense than what you're fucking listening to, it also brings back memories of good times. So that's always going to be something. Could take your place with the quarterback thing as well. The most success I've ever had in the NFL, I've been in the NFL 50 years, is when you got a guy that can do this, this, and this, and this is how I view football. We just need not worry about that anymore and just understand those motherfuckers ain't never going to change either. We just got to kind of phase them out at some point, which is inevitably going to happen because that's how Father Time works.
Do you think it's kind of also has to do with the fact that Josh Allen has progressively gotten unbelievably better at throwing every year? And I don't know the stats to a T, but there hasn't been a massive improvement from Lamar Jackson in his pass game.
Really?
I mean, Josh Allen went from scrambling a lot his rookie year and jumping over people, and they didn't make the playoffs, to one of the best passers in the NFL.
I assume there's some. acknowledge what you're saying about Josh Allen getting much better. And he had those lasers on him. He said his hips weren't lining up with his elbows like a golf swing, and he became much better. They also brought him in Stephon Diggs, which probably helps a little bit of the percentages stuff. I assume there's stats that Lamar Jackson, and if he's presenting a case, would say, got more efficient at this, better at this over the years. If he's going the opposite direction, then, he's giving everybody else a lot of ammunition to basically attack him for it, but I don't know if it has. That's a great point.
I don't know if he's gone the opposite direction or if he's
gotten more accurate. He's completed more passes because early it was just like if he doesn't have somebody open, he's either going to shot put one downfield or he's going to try to run for a first down. He's also not a flash in the pan though. Like he won an MVP already, and it's not
won a playoff game, won MVP,
right? Like so, to your point, like if people don't like him, I don't know if winning a Super Bowl is doing. And then you look at who Baltimore's won Super Bowls with, Trent Dilfer and Joe Flacco, like these big, tall, white guys. It kind of goes against what Lamar does.
Yeah. Wow. By the way, if you can get Lamar, you get Lamar. Yeah. Just want to let everybody out there know.
And they're not supporting him too.
Including these defensive coordinators that are anonymously talking shit about Lamar Jackson, been around the NFL a long time. We'd assume they are old defense coordinators, been a long time. Go ahead and put them on a team that fucking has a shit quarterback. And then ask them, hey, would you like Lamar? Fuck, would love Lamar.
Yeah.
Just like that. Boom, just like that they would do it. So we got to pay them no money. It was headlines.
Oh, yeah.
Like 6 different shows yesterday talking about this anonymous defense coordinator that said this shit about Lamar in the Athletic article. It's like, fuck this guy.
Everybody has opinion. Like, just because it's someone's opinion, who cares? Like, we all have opinions. What's the matter?
Well, he's a defense coordinator in the NFL. There's other people that want to be defense coordinators.
Still
in
a
the
human,
NFL.
though. Like, still a human that has biases and whatever. So.
Well, we are also a group that does overreact a little bit. Remember, we wanted Sando to roll over his information on who voted fucking Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes as tier 2, so that the fans of that team know that person isn't representing the team that they are a fan of.
That's right.
Sando wouldn't tell us, AJ.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Well, he's not gonna give up his sources.
I like Sando a lot. He was good on our show.
Big fan.
He was.
He was really good. I didn't expect that at all. Writer, this guy's gonna suck.
He was awesome.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Really, really. We should get him on more. We need to do away with the tier system, though.
Yeah, I don't like
That's kind of Sando's bread and butter, though.
It is.
Yeah, is he the Hanzus of the tier system?
Yeah, I think he is, actually.
We need more tiers then. All right, Sando. Fucking more tiers then. All right, let's get out of here. We all appreciate you so much for watching and listening. There's just more shit to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah. Dan Snyder, baby. Let's see what he does.
And then the next day, there's more shit to talk about tomorrow. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
Right.
So this is awesome. We got 5-6 more months of football talk and football happenings. We are very lucky to be here. Thank you for spending your off season with us. The regular season is about to be good. I guess I can break this news. Big breaking news tomorrow.
Here we go.
That's right.
Big breaking news tomorrow.
Oh. Interesting.
There's a lot of breaking news coming. Just when do we do them? That's right. A lot of things have been happening in dark and they're about to come to light. A lot of conversations and networking and handshaking and deciding what I'm going to do, what we're not going to do, where we're going to go, what we're not going to definitely ever agree to doing. That's all been happening.
Can't wait to hear.
It's been heavy on my heart. I'm happy we're getting over it. I'm happy we're getting past it. It's not easy. I think a lot of these things, I assume some business class will maybe teach it to you. But how? You know?
No, not with what you're doing. Like everything you're doing, no, there's no class for that.
And I'm a dipshit, obviously, and I fucking, and the way I handle things by myself, and I want me to speak for our company as opposed to somebody else that doesn't know our company. I would like to do it, so I want to hear what they're saying and what they're not saying. And when something gets presented, my first thought is, I ain't fucking doing that. And then I have to I owe our business me actually listening and thinking what the upside could be here. There's a reason that they pitched this. There has to be some sort of upside. And there's been a couple times where it's like, nah, I ain't fucking doing that. And then I listen and I'm like, yeah, I ain't fucking doing it. That was a waste of 45 minutes of my life right there. I shouldn't even listen to that. I don't have time. I wish I had more time. Talk to you next year, maybe. See you later. And then another one will come and I'll be like, that's fucking stupid. And then they lay it out. I'm like, all right, that's actually.
I can see how that.
All right, that's actually pretty smart. Thank you for doing that, as opposed to just, as soon as I told you bad idea, just kind of leaving, and you actually come back and explain what it is. I appreciate you taking the time. So there's a lot of that going on, and I'm intrigued to know what I would have learned if I did have business chops at all, other than Shark Tank.
I mean, you're living it. everything that anybody learns, it's on the job training. Like you can have your major in college can be whatever it is. Whenever you get your first real job, that's when you actually learn what you're doing. You're not going to lean on a whole lot of stuff you learned in college.
Yeah, I can.
Live reps.
Well, I didn't learn anything in college either. I mean, what are we talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I didn't do it.
I think
I attended no classes.
Maybe the only thing would have been terminology, but that's about it.
Yeah, there is some shit that's in these legalese every once in a while. Oh, force majeure. Remember, we learned learned all about force majeure. That was a big deal. And now every motherfucker's learning about that to sign any contract ever, anywhere.
Nope.
It's been fun, though. Quite an evolution. I think... Nope. I'm not going to do it. I am not in a position to give advice to anybody.
Nah.
Nope. Let's get out of here. Breaking news coming tomorrow. Hammer Dahn in about 15 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. Is Hammer Dahn up to something? Oh, maybe. See you guys in about 13, 14 minutes on Hammer Down. We'll see you all tomorrow. We can't thank you enough. Cheers. Take care.